Computer, turn on the camera. Computer, turn off the camera. Computer, turn on the camera. What the hell is going on? Oh, okay. Computer, turn off the camera. Computer, turn on the camera. Having technical camera problems today. Great. Great. What's going on with my camera? Is it no. Okay, let's turn off the camera again. All right. Put back on the camera. All right, bear with me, guys. I'm just having some camera difficulties here. Trying to get this camera back on, and then we'll see if we could. Annoying. Now I'm just gonna have to use this weird angle camera for today. Yeah. Okay, you know what? We're just gonna go with that. Annoying with the technical difficulties. Okay, we'll have to use this ridiculous camera for now until I figure out what's going on with my other live stream camera. And yeah, so not a flattering angle, I'll tell you that much for sure. Give me 1 second, guys. Just having some problems here. So let me see if I can just figure this out in 2 seconds. If not, then we're going to continue because the show must go on. Front to back, V1, Black Magic. Nope, still not working. All right, it is what it is. All right, if you're new here, welcome. If you don't know who I am, my name is Dwayne. We're going to be talking about building a social media platform to help you manage your own social media content. I've been a software developer for about 20 years. And I like to describe myself as gone rogue. Wow, that is a weird angle. Jeez. Okay, we're using our crappy mic video camera from our thing. Actually, you know what? I wonder if I could use my phone for a camera. Hang on a second. We can do this. Thanks to the Apple guys, we could get at least a slightly better angle. How about? And yeah, so we're going to be talking about social media. This is something that I got a problem with my entire life. I hate social media. I really don't like it, even though I'm actually on social media as we speak. But I've been trying to get better at social media in general and trying to figure out, okay, so we're going to do something like this. I'm just going to try and get my phone going here quickly and try to improvise on a better system. So bear with me here while I kind of ramble. Yeah, so we're going to do that. We're going to talk about some of the challenges with getting social media content going, which if you've ever tried it, there's some real challenges with posting on social media. It's just a lot of effort, a lot of work, kind of figure it out to get it going properly. Okay, while I'm doing that, I'm gonna go get my scenes portrait, capture scene, and yeah, it's just an ongoing challenge to have to figure things out. So what we're gonna do today is we're just gonna try to talk through some of those details and try to figure out ways or strategies that you could kind of come up with content. And then we're going to, oh my God. Okay, we're having all kinds of technical problems today, guys. Give me 1 second here. Trying to get my other streaming channel going here, and it's for some reason not allowing me to. Okay, 1 second. Just want to fit the screen, want to resize it. Oh, did it make changes to this thing? My goodness. Oh, okay. Having all kinds of technical problems today. Oh, it's locked, that's why. All sorts of technical. Okay, I got it. Don't know what I'm doing today. Okay, so we got that, and then we're gonna get a different camera angle soon enough, and then we'll start. Promise you guys, 2 seconds here. Bear with me for one bit. Camera, image, camera. There we go. Lock the image down. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing. I'm trying to get to a place where I'm posting every day. Supposed to be posting at least 3 times a day or so, the experts claim. I haven't mastered that, and that's been a real struggle for me. I have tons of ideas on what to post, but the truth is I don't have the time to sit down and craft lots of details. And if you're a solo entrepreneur, or if you're struggling with some of this content stuff, then yeah. Okay, so let me change my camera angle here. Just 1 second. FaceTime, this camera. Okay, so we're going to go with this for now. We're going to go live on TikTok, and then we're going to come back. Okay, so okay, 1 more minute. How's everybody doing out there, by the way? You guys are doing great. Hopefully you are. Running my business. Oh. I'm building a social media. There we go. Add a title. AI that runs my social media. I gotta cut the title down for TikTok. Yeah, but content is hard. Content is really, really hard. It's one of the hardest things that I've had to learn. How do you build good content? What do you do? Where does the good content come from? Okay, so we're gonna try this. We're gonna try to see if we could switch. There is a way to connect your iPhone camera. So we're gonna do one quick Google here. Let me just see how I can do it, and then we'll try it. How do you connect your iPhone camera to your Mac? There's a way to do it. So we can get at least a slightly better angle than the one that we have. And if not, we will continue. The show must go on. Do or die. One of the beauty things about doing these calls is that you're forced to just deal with problems as you go. There's no... Okay, so sign in. Let me just see here. So open up app like FaceTime Google. Put your iPhone near your Mac. Open up like FaceTime Google. Your app settings should choose things. So your phone and Mac should be signed in on the same Apple ID, near Wi-Fi, blah, blah, blah. Video settings, camera, your phone. Plug it in the USB-C. Let's see. USB-C. We got a USB-C here. Actually, we'll put it on this side here. Hello guys, if you're new here, you're wondering who I am, what am I doing? I've been a developer turned entrepreneur, learning and sharing ideas about how to vibe code applications, how to build social media platforms, and I'm having technical issues as we speak. So just trying to get that sorted out. Files will be available, allow, remove, yes. And trust this computer 239. Just trying to see if I could get a different camera angle here. If not, we're going to continue. Use it in OBS Live. Okay, so how do we change the camera angle? Is there now? Let's see if it actually shows up. FaceTime HD camera. Yeah, no, not showing up. Tripod HD. Trust this device. Open up your app to your phone. If you want to use it, select your phone camera source. Where's the settings though? Option 1, use your phone as your Mac webcam. Yes, it's called continuity camera. Your iPhone and Mac should be signed in Wi-Fi near each other, connected at personal laptop. Put your iPhone near your Mac. Open apps like Facebook. In the apps camera settings, go to iPhone as camera. In the apps camera settings, your phone thing on your Mac, you also see it under video settings, camera, your iPhone. Okay, let's try that and then we'll kind of continue. If not, we're gonna video settings. Is there video settings? No clue. Huh. Okay, just gonna ignore this. Annoying. Okay, we're gonna just pretend like I don't have an unflattering camera angle today. All right, let's do this, guys. Or should we just put this? You know what we should do? We should just put it on a book or something. Let me just, yeah, here. It'll be a little bit better than just flat. Sorry, improvising today, guys. Improvising today. All right. Okay. There we go. A little bit better. A little bit better. There we go. A little bit better. But that means I'll have to change the view. Okay. Shall we begin? So, what are we talking about today? Got 3 people inside of here. Who's on the live? Got a few people on the live. What's the agenda for today, boss? We're talking about social media. I'm sorry, I was just trying to get my camera going because I had some problems with my my camera. So we'll see how this is going to work out. It's a little bit. I'm prioritizing the camera right now, but I'm going to have to prioritize the screen, and we'll see how that goes. So what am I doing? I'm building my own social media posting system so that I can produce more content at scale. So this is an ongoing problem for me. It's been a really big challenge of how do you build and post actual real content. Is that, yeah. And what's on the agenda? Following it. Okay, yeah. Sorry, let me just bring this chat out so at least I have it in the right location. And I can see you guys better. And then bring the other chat out as well too. Sorry, we're having a bad camera day today. But that's okay. Like I said, the show must go on. So yeah, we're going to be talking about social media. We're going to be talking about all the challenges around posting content. We're going to be talking about if you have a Codename Zulu. Good to see you, man. It's been a while since you've been around. Jeez, my mouse is all over the place. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's been good to see you. It's been a while since I've seen you, that's for sure. Okay, so let's do this. Boo, boo, boo. Yeah, so if you're vibe coding any application, why are we doing this? Let's start with the why. Let's start with the why would you even want to build your own or have your own social media platform to post content. And by the way, I'm always going to start this, okay? I'm going to start every single thing I say with this. Don't reinvent the wheel. Okay, there's always systems out there that can solve your problem, so don't reinvent the wheel. Okay, don't build a social media app, don't build a social media platform if you don't have understanding of why you should be building it and what are the problems that you're actually solving. Don't do it. You're gonna burn out your tokens, you're gonna burn your credits out, and you're just gonna give up on the project and then move on to something else because you're bored. Okay. Talking from experience, the credit burnout is a real thing. It's a legit real thing, and it'll cost you. It'll cost you. So anyway, why am I building this, and why is this important to me? First of all, one of the biggest challenges with posting content is coming up with ideas consistently. There's tons of ideas on the internet, but if you got to do this consistently and religiously, so that you can get the word out about your product or your services because you just vibe coded something, you have to come up with a system. It can't just be like you wake up every day and you just kind of decide to just post something, which is what I do. I'm guilty of that. You have to come up with a formula, and that formula has to be a very prescribed, consistent strategy in order to get you the results that you're looking for, which is to increase the amount of views on increase the amount of views on you first, and then hopefully people will trust you. So in other words, I'm trying to teach things that I'm actually doing to build my platform. Okay. Why isn't YouTube? Oh my goodness. Yeah, sorry. It's just I'm just looking at LinkedIn here. Like we're in a mess state today. Nothing is actually going according to plan. For some strange reason, the live button is not showing up on LinkedIn for some strange reason. So I built my own app that it saves me about $500 a year from different subscription plans. So that's a good reason to actually build something, right? Building it out because it's actually going to save you some money. That's actually a really good reason. I'm like you. I'm 100%. I have way too many subscriptions all over the place. I built an app that is called Affordly. I've mentioned this before, but I'll keep mentioning it. I built an app called Affordly that helps me to keep track of my subscriptions. Last month, I did an audit on how many subscriptions I have, and I'm approaching about $2,700 worth of subscription dollars a month. I'm very ashamed to say it, to be honest with you. It's just a lot of money to spend on subscription. Two of which, I mentioned this before, two of which are subscriptions from when my kid was born and he was using Amazon Kids, or at least I thought he was using it. Hasn't used it. My kid is 4 years of age and I've been paying for these subscriptions all the time. Just haven't checked it. So this is a real problem. Saving money is definitely one of them. The reason why I'm building this, and the reason why I'm building my own social media platform. I gotta change this angle, guys. I'm sorry. We're just gonna have to deal with bad camera angles today because I can't see my outer screen. It's driving me nuts. So the reason why, here, this is the best I could do. Yeah, there we go. So the reason why I'm building my own social media platform, posting platform, not social media platform, to post is because you in this day and age, you can't afford not to be on every platform. Now, the truth is you have to focus on one, you have to master one platform, but you kind of have to build for all the different platforms that exist in order to be able to get real traction on your stuff. And that just means meeting the customers where they are. So you have to post on Reddit. You also have to post on LinkedIn. You got to post on Twitter. Now you have Blue Sky. And there's Facebook, there's Instagram. Like, it's just all these different platforms. Now, the experts, most people will tell you just have to focus on one and just go ahead and just do that. And to be honest with you, that's what I've been doing. I've been focusing on YouTube as my primary platform where I post more of my long form type content. I just noticed that my video on YouTube is not working. Hang on, let me one second. Hold that. Oh, there we go. Yeah. I should say sorry for the bad camera angle. So the issue is that on YouTube, what I've noticed is that even though I have a decent amount of following and I keep redirecting them to my school community and my different communities or whatever it is that I'm doing, what I've noticed is that I get more traction on TikTok. because I get more engagement on TikTok on a regular basis. Just people just engaging on TikTok, etc. So I've been focusing on TikTok as a whole, and as a result of that, I've recognized that while YouTube is great for long form content and for building sort of a longer brand, TikTok is great for immediate followers and sort of spooling up my thing. In fact, I started TikTok after I started my YouTube, like 2 or 3 months after I started my YouTube, and I've already surpassed my following on TikTok than YouTube. So this just goes to show that the platforms all behave differently, and they all have their own quirks. And so as a result, you end up, in order for you to maximize your exposure, you have to kind of be on all the different platforms. And that's not an easy thing to do. It sounds easy, but it's not. Like on the simplest end, you record a video. Let's pretend that you actually knew what to say. You record a video, you upload it to YouTube, you upload it to TikTok, you upload it to Instagram, you upload it to Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. But it just takes time. I did this just 2 days ago because I posted a video about 2 days ago, and it must have taken me at least a good hour and a half, maybe a little bit more than that, just to get one video up. Because after you upload it, you have to edit it, you have to put it. And I used Descript, so I already have a template. I click on that template and I put it up. But yet, it's still a problem. But the issue is that if you're doing vibe coding, this is really, really important. Okay, you can't stress this enough. It's super important because you need to market your app, and in order for you to market your app, you need to get exposure, and exposure just translates to you being able to put your thing out there. This camera angle is really throwing me off today. Not gonna be my best live, I'll tell you that. Yeah, so most creators, one of the biggest problems is that they just don't know what to post. And this is an ongoing thing, right? And I shouldn't even label creators because I actually want to replace that word creators with entrepreneurs. Right? If you're an entrepreneur, you don't have a system where you're systematically posting content and you're systematically generating ideas on what is it that you're going to be posting, then it's kind of pointless, to be honest with you. It's kind of pointless. So learn to go live. Okay, so hang on a second. So, jeez, sorry, I'm freaking out about my LinkedIn thing because it doesn't even allow me to. Oh, it's so annoying. Yeah, we're just having all kinds of technical problems today. Oh, there we go. Did it work? Oh, it's better. Actually, here it is. It is working. Hang on. Yes. One second. I think it's working. Okay, 1 second. I promise I'm going to get settled. I just want to see if this is going to actually work, because then this will at least be a little bit better option than what we have right now. So disconnect, pause to disconnect, remove your iPhone from your Mac. Okay, so hang on. So if I change this, I could click on this, twin camera. There we go. Okay, that's better. Change this camera to twin camera. And then change this camera. Can I do this live on TikTok? Let's see. Settings. Twin camera. Perfect. Okay. That's good. Now I could do this. Oh, so much better. Now I could put my iPhone in there. And hopefully I'm not pressing any buttons. And I can't see myself, so hang on. I got to do the inception thing for a second just to make sure that it's right. Oh, so much better. Not perfect, but way better than what. Okay, yeah. All right. That's just yeah. Sorry, that was just really, really distracting for me. I'm using my iPhone camera as a main camera here because my my DSLR camera is just completely out of the woods. So okay, that's good. I feel better about that. Can concentrate on the next problem. The thing about entrepreneurship is that you're always having problems, okay? Like there's no such thing as like, oh, when I finish this problem, every single thing will be fine. No, it's just not how it works. Actually, I just noticed on TikTok that it's not actually showing my screen. So just bear with me for 1 second here again. Settings. Which one is that? No, wrong screen. No, wrong screen. There we go. Yep, and then switch over. Let me just see. Yep, perfect. 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 Yes. Okay. We're good to go. Every single thing is except for LinkedIn, which is just a crazy thing by itself. Actually, you know what we could do? I don't know why LinkedIn is like this. So, what else is? Yes. Okay. So, what we're gonna be, we're gonna go through sort of like we're gonna go through a process to talk about sort of exactly how you can build out a system that does this. Okay. Let's move forward here. So, one, if you're gonna do content, you need some way to, like, you need ideas. You need tons of ideas, okay? You need lots and lots of ideas. So you need to come up with a systematic way of generating ideas. That's the first thing that you need to do. I'm going to show you guys some tools and concepts that you could use to kind of come up with a framework for how to do ideas. The good news is that we have ChatGPT today. So the truth is, a lot of this stuff we don't have to think about as much. But it's still, if you don't know how to sort of systematically come up with the ideas, then you just will have problems. It's just a reality of it. Okay, so Dwayne, hit the title, enter studio. Sorry, I'm doing one more thing here because I'm trying to share my connection to LinkedIn, edit channels. Edit, yes. Yeah, okay, we're just gonna just go live with whatever we got, and then we're gonna share screen, and it's going to be entire screen, and it's gonna be this screen here, share, and then go live. Okay, that's all we got for LinkedIn. I can't do any better than that today. LinkedIn has been driving me nuts of lately. It's just like, yeah, it's just driving me mental. So I think it'll work, or hopefully it'll work. Let's see. Yeah. So I'm going to disconnect this event. I'm just event this event. Okay. Yeah. We're good. Yeah. Okay. So building content, right? Now here's the thing. Okay. We're living in a world where it's AI. We got tons of AI generating stuff, right? Like we know this already, right? ChatGPT just brought out a new model. It's doing a fantastic job. That was a poster for this one here. This is from ChatGPT 2.0, their new image model. Fantastic. It's actually a pretty good model. It's doing what I think. It did change my face a little bit, but it's not too much. It's actually pretty close, I would say. So so that's good. The issue now is that if you're generating content, there's tons of AI slop out there, like just tons and tons of AI slop, and we want to get to a place where we're not producing AI slop. So the really goal is, let's just talk about sort of at a very high level. At a very high level, what we want to do, okay, and then we'll jump into the details. I like my whiteboard. If anybody knows me, I like my whiteboard. Okay, so actually I don't want to mess with this one. Let's do my untitled. Yeah, okay, so this is the workflow that we're going to be setting up. Okay. First, you're going to record your own content on your own platform, like on your camera. Okay, now I'm actually using, this is my recommendation. This is just a tip for you guys. I'm actually using, okay, where is the, man, we're really struggling today. It's as thick as ever, but for some reason it's not, okay, we're just gonna do it with boxes, okay. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? Microsoft whiteboard. too many fancy tools. Microsoft Whiteboard. Where are we? Yeah, there we go. Nope. Microsoft Whiteboard Web. There we go. My goodness, we're having problems today. Microsoft Whiteboard Online. Open Whiteboard. There we go. Thank you. Log in. No, I want to log in with my back. There we go. Okay. Thank you. Okay, there we go. New. All right. So, what are we going to do? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Here's the deal. Yeah, you guys can see this is much better. So we're going to make that bigger and make it thick enough so everybody can see it properly. Yeah, okay, there you go. Perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to basically take our phone. We're going to upload a video. Everybody knows how to do that. We're going to record a video. And I'm going to save it locally. This is the workflow, okay? I'm going to save it locally to the phone. Right now, I'm using an iPhone, so the fastest way that I figure to get it out off of the phone is to use their share feature, which is, what's it called again? The airdrop. So we're going to airdrop it out to the computer. Or you could save it to, like, you know, Dropbox or Google Drive or something like that. But I'm doing it this way. I'm going to airdrop it to the computer. From the computer, we'll have a little service that basically sits there. That's going to pick up the file. And it's going to do two things. One is going to send it up to Cloudflare, so that Cloudflare could take the file and then process it. Secondly is we need to basically do a translation. TRANSLATE. Sorry, I'm using my mouse to write here. So we're going to do a translate service. And then most importantly, the three things that we need to do is we need to cut, right? We need to cut dead space. We need to trim it, trim all the edges, TRIM. And then we need to put some kind of styling on it. CYLE. Okay. So this is the editing part. This is, and to be honest with you, I'm going to try to see if I could focus on this part a little bit today so that we could get this piece out of the way, because the other parts were kind of easy. They're pretty straightforward. This cut, trim, and whatever, we're going to use a tool called Remotion. REMOTION. Okay. We're going to use a tool called Remotion to kind of do that, to automate that process. The concern that I have with this tool right now is I don't know how capable it is about handling really large files, because the files that are coming off of my iPhone right now, sometimes they're like a gig, 2 gigs, 3 gigs, right? Because I'm recording in 4K, and as a result of that, the files are pretty big. So we're going to see if we can do that. Okay. And then from there, there's a couple things that needs to happen. We need to basically do two things simultaneously. One is we need to take the transcript and we need to come up with a sort of a post. Okay. The post needs to be formatted depending on the platform. So depending on which platform it is, whether it's Blotega or it's, sorry, not Blotega, Twitter or LinkedIn, etc., needs to be thing. And then in the, before we post it, we need some kind of review process. Review process. REVIEW. Okay, and then obviously once it gets reviewed, then it gets approved. But more importantly, the other thing is what I want to be able to do is take that exact same content and turn it into an article. TICLE. Okay, different people. Some people love video, some people love text, some people love like all kinds of stuff. So we're going to basically try to post it into, turn it into some sort of video article that we could then enhance and review, all from the content that we basically put out, which is just recorded it. Now, before that, which is the thing that we talked about just now, is we need IDs. We need lots of IDs, right? We need an ID bank. And what we don't want to be doing is having to go out, search that ID, bring it into our platform, you know, massage it, figure out which one's going to work and which. We don't want to do any of that kind of stuff. What we want to do is basically we just want to just let the system do the thing that it does best, or let the AI does what it does best, which is basically to merge the information that it knows about us with the actual news, content, etc., to then come up with fresh ideas that we could then record and post at a rapid pace. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to get this whole thing done. Now, I do have some of this code kind of laying around, so we'll do all this. All AI can go away. What do you mean by that, Jay? You mean you want the human being to basically be focused on content? Is that what you're saying? In either case, here's the goal, okay? This is the golden rule here. The golden rule is we don't want to have AI slop, okay? AI is getting a bad rap right now. Seriously. You go on, okay, so I got a 4-year-old kid, just turned 4. And last month, 2-3 months ago, I used to allow him to be on the phone a little bit more. And to be, okay, I want to say this up. I know better than putting him on the phone. However, if you're a parent, you know this. Some days you just don't have the headspace, and the phone becomes a babysitter. And so, guilty father here, I did this, okay? But I also observed the fact that he was on the phone watching YouTube, and you know he's figured out that he doesn't want to be on the kid YouTube. He wants to be on the grown-up YouTube. So I created a profile for him, thinking that YouTube would kind of curate his content for him. 90% of the stuff was just AI slop. And I mean cat videos, dog videos, like it was just non-stop 3 seconds video. And then I could see him just getting more and more addicted to this content. And I was like, this is just garbage. What am I doing to my kid here? So I just banned him 100%. I didn't even slowly think. I just completely banned him from the phone. And now I curate his content aggressively so he can only watch stuff that are educational and valuable and that can help, etc. So if you're a parent, you know this already. So anyway, as a result of that, going back to your point, Jay, I agree 100% that AI slop and AI content in general could just disappear off the face of the planet. I think the world would be a better place. But here's the reality. It's not going to go away. So for us as entrepreneurs and content creators and vibe coders and people trying to build apps, because that's what we do around here, just in case you're new and you don't know who I am, we build vibe coding apps in production, okay, on Cloudflare. Now, if you're going to get the word out about your app, in today's world, you have to be posting consistently about 3 to 5 pieces of content per day. This is how crazy it is. Okay, I was watching Alex Ramosi, and he was saying that they post, I'm going to get the number for you, they post something like, I think it was 35,000 pieces of content or something like that per month. Per month. The numbers are insane. The amount of what they do. But what they have figured out is there's a direct correlation, a one-to-one correlation between the amount of content that you put out and your audience growing. One-to-one correlation. In the same way, there's a one-to-one correlation with you getting exposure on the internet about your app to make money. Okay? So don't get this twisted. This is the strategy. This is the thing that you have to do. Okay, there's a reason why I'm on these lives. Okay, now I'm not charging you guys for these content, just to be clear. I have no interest in doing that right this minute. But at some point, what I want to do is build an audience where at some point in the future, if I have enough value or provide enough value, that I can sell something to that audience, right? So the more eyeballs that I get on me, the better for me. Okay, the same way you have to be thinking about that for your own vibe coded content. Whatever market you're in, whatever niche you're in, whatever product that you have, that's the thing that you need to be focusing on. The content and getting the exposure. Because the truth is, you could just go online and you could just pay for Facebook ad or Google ads, etc. And you could just do it that way, and that would be perfectly fine. But if you're starting out from scratch, budget is tight. Let's just be real about that, right? You don't have the budget to go spend, $2,000-$3,000 a month at minimum. Or, I mean, sure, you could get away with like $500 or something, but you're not going to be able to do a lot with it to gain traction in the marketplace. So the next best thing is you have to sit down and create content. And if you're going to create content, it cannot be when I feel like doing it. It has to be systematic, and that's kind of what we're really focused on, right? You have to be systematic about producing that content. And there's tons of channels on TikTok or YouTube or wherever case that talk about content creation and content marketing. We're obviously talking about that right now, but what we're really trying to do is we're really trying to change the mindset of developers and entrepreneurs into content creators. That's what I'm trying to do. Because I realize that is the entire game. If you don't have an audience, you don't have a business. You don't have a business, you don't have any money. It's just that simple. All right. So with that, let's go write some code. We're not going to spend too much time in the weeds today. Oh, actually, let me just double check my what did I do here? I messed up. I need to pull out I want to put my slide on another screen just to make sure that we're keeping on track. I mean, trying to get more formal with, oops. Okay, hang on. While I'm doing this, anybody got any questions? If you got any questions about building your own content strategy, or any questions for that matter, doesn't matter what kind of questions you have. I just want to know if anybody got any questions before we move on. Okay, I'm gonna put this here. I'm trying to use these virtual screens to help me keep organized here, so just bear with me. Right, so Remotion, business flow, we talk about that. Content planner. So here's the stack that we're gonna do. Which AI are you using here? So we're gonna use timely question, one laugh. We're gonna use Nuxt. That's my favorite platform of choice, not React, sadly. We're going to use Cloudflare Workers. Cloudflare Pages and Cloudflare Workers are the same thing. We're going to use Cloudflare R2 to basically put the images, and then we're going to use Cloudflare's API in order to do the rendering. So let me just highlight that for a second. So Cloudflare, in case you don't know, I'm a big promoter of Cloudflare. I think it's the only platform you guys should be building on. If you're in this live, Cloudflare is the only platform that you should be building on, okay? I'm sorry to say it, but it's just a fact that Cloudflare is just really good. Cloudflare AI Gateway, okay? So we're going to be using Cloudflare AI Gateway, Mr. One Laugh. Okay. What is Cloudflare AI Gateway? It's basically an interface that allows you to connect to multiple different platforms, whether it's OpenAI or Anthropic or any single thing of the sort. We're going to be using that. Why? Because it's simple. Why? Because I could just dump the AI at it and it could just basically just spin up the whole thing and I don't have to think about the back-end details. All right. Just use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Python for the back-end. Sure. We could do that. We could also go back to the Stone Ages. Use Cloudflare to serve it and nothing more. Send the link. Sure, I'll send the link, buddy. 100%. So I'm just making joke with you. Thing. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is 100%. There we go. Send the link. Link is in the. There we go, sir. Good afternoon. Can this piece be used to build out ideas that I sketch out on an LLM and copy to Google Drive as production pipeline as an IDE to instantiate setup? Let me just remember. Can this pipeline be used to build out ideas that I sketch out on an LLM and copy to my Google Drive? Yes, 100%. Yes. So once you could put it on your Google Drive or any of these platforms, then you could pull it in via webhook or something like that to push it into your to R2. All right. And then let's see. Okay, so I'm just going to read a couple more questions here, and then we're going to go on to the next level. So what do you What do you mean by, oh, is that what do you mean by Stone Ages? You're closer to the DOM and you can build your own framework like I did. Hey, I'm not disagreeing with you. Just to be clear, I just want to be clear. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just playing with you, man. I understand the reason of being close to the DOM. I'm with you 100%. That's why everything I make it still better than AI in its entirety. Yep, I got you. And by using Cloudflare for everything, you've become the product. What do you think about Cloud Code? Okay, we'll hold the math question for a bit. I think Cloud Code is okay. It's great. It's fine. I don't necessarily use it on a daily basis. Now, I use Cloud Code, but I use it in VS Code, and that's because my mindset is that in a developer world, and the Cloud Code experience doesn't give me enough navigational capabilities to kind of basically skim through the code at a faster pace. That's my thing. That's the reason why I don't use Cloud Code itself, but I use all of Cloud Anthropic models. Just to be clear, Matt. By using Cloudflare for everything, you become the product. Yeah. So Smoke Zone. So you're not wrong about that. I'll answer this very quickly, and then we're gonna move on here. I use Cloudflare because one is the cheapest platform out there, bar none. Okay, want to stress this: you're not gonna find any single thing cheaper than Cloudflare. That's number one. That being said, though, the issue is that okay, let me just back up a bit. So what I'm using Cloudflare for, let me talk about that. What I'm using Cloudflare for is all front-end related stuff. Why? Cloudflare is a security company by default, and I get a lot of security benefits just for free, just by being on Cloudflare. So it protects me from DDoS attack, which, by the way, I will mention, this week, one of my APIs was not open, and I got a DDoS attack, meaning that hackers were trying to hit my API. I was getting about 20 million requests per day, nonstop, for about a week. I didn't even notice it. Why? Because my app didn't even flinch. It literally didn't flinch. Now, I did get a $400 bill that Cloudflare sent me, but it was like nothing. Okay. And when I say the reason why I ended up being $400 was because there was a bunch of downstream queues that was processing information, and the queues multiply. It ended up being over 1 billion requests on the back end. My application didn't even flinch. Okay, this is my testament of how good Cloudflare is. That at 1 billion requests over the course of a few days, like application just kept running like nothing. And I like the while it was a security breach in terms of it was a DDoS attack. They didn't actually get into our system or anything. They were just aggressively sort of trying to bring it down. And it was because I didn't have rate limit on my APIs and a few other things that I didn't have on the API. This was just because I was vibe coding and I was just, late at night, didn't really care, just trying to get the entire application up. So that's something that I want to make sure that I stress to you guys all to tell you. Make sure that you actually put security things in place. Cloudflare allows you to do that extremely simply and easily, if you understand how to use it, obviously, right? Now, that being said, here's a perfect plug to go to my school community. I just dropped the link in the chat, but go join it. Join my school community, dwayne.me/thing. And then if you go to Classroom, I just added this. I'm just building this right out, but I put a security prompt in here because I want to make sure that I standardize this for everybody. Okay, so if you're new to this, you don't know how to deal with all this vibe coding problems and issues, and you're like wondering, go just copy this prompt. If you're a developer, you look at this, you could use this as well too, but go use this prompt. And basically what it just puts all the different things that you just need to make sure that your application is at least secure, or it will mitigate if a DDoS attack happen, what to do. Okay. All right. We're going to jump back into the code. We're going to jump back into some more code, and then I'm going to jump back into the questions for thing. So coding is free. Cloudflare is fine as a gateway proxy to prevent IP flooding. Yeah, 100% agree with that. But it's not good for project creation. All right, not hard to create your own authentication with security. Yeah. So Smoke Zone, you clearly have a level of expertise that most people don't have. Okay, a lot of the people that are sitting in this community right now, they're first-time developers, they're first-time entrepreneurs, they're first-time vibe coders. So we do have a varying spectrum of people that are in here, and so one of the challenges I want to do is make sure that I kind of educate people that are like non-technical. So yeah, just take that with you. So where's the link? I got you. I'll send you the link. The link to this security thing here. This one here. Yeah, I'm fluent in 5 languages. Yeah, I got my own level. Yeah, so yeah. You're like a encyclopedia of developer knowledge. So you're in a whole lot of level. But kudos to you for hanging around. I appreciate you jumping in here and giving your 2 cents. Welcome. So okay, let's go moving on. Let's move on because I wanna see if we can actually get real stuff done here. Okay, because I want to be I've been trying to get more coding done on these calls, not just talk, because we've been guilty of just talking too much on these calls and not actually writing code, which is a very hard thing to do, by the way. So, okay, so first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my Cloudflare. Right, so, okay, I was answering the question, why are we using Cloudflare Gateway? Honestly, it's because it's easy. Now, I want to be transparent with you guys here, okay? I just want to be transparent with you guys. I don't use Cloudflare for everything, and I don't use Cloudflare Gateway for every single thing. In fact, a lot of my application stuff is sitting in Azure. Okay, I just want to be clear with that. All right. So I don't want to come up on here and be like, hey, use Cloudflare for every single thing. It's going to solve all your problems. I definitely don't want to be that to you guys. What I want to do is tell you that if you're vibe coding for the very first time and you're just trying to get something shipped and you don't know much about, like, you're not Smoke Zero here that knows like 5 languages and has his own IP at a level of of Google, like own his own IP. Like you're not that guy, okay? Then Cloudflare is a really good start because it does a lot of things really well, all right? But it's also cheap. It's extremely cheap and it'll scale. And I'm all about scalability, so that's the reason why, just to be clear. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to ignore the chat for a bit so I could focus on trying to get some things done here. Then we're going to come back to the chat in a bit. So let's go to, okay, so let me see if I could pull this up because I have we have a somewhat of an app already that we're going to try to pull up. Let me see. Okay, yes, there we go. Yeah. Okay, so I have a framework of an app that we're going to kind of build out. We're going to use this to kind of build some of our stuff. And I won't focus too much on the app because what the parts that I really want to focus on today because it's new to me also, is not uploading the data to the computer. That's easy. But it's pulling the data from the computer to a program, Remotion. So we're going to try to use Remotion. In fact, I'm going to hyper focus on the Remotion part because this is kind of like in other words, we're going to cut to like the icing part of the development, which is the part about doing the video editing and trying to get that working, which I don't know what's possible. So just to be clear, okay, I've never done this before. I just want to be clear with this, all right? But hopefully for the newbies out there, I'm going to show you a framework of how you could think about stuff. So let's just talk about what Remotion is first for the people that are uninitiated. Remotion. Okay, so Remotion, it allows you to do video programming. Okay, it allows you to create videos via program. Okay, I'm going to asterisk this conversation by saying this. One of my favorite creators right now is running a company called Blotago, 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 Blotago. Okay, and she is really good. This girl here. Okay, this girl here. This is not a best picture of her, but she built this tool to help you with this exact same problem. So go use her tool if you just want to be able to post. In fact, I'm literally a paid customer of hers, and I'm going to promote her tools for 2 seconds, okay? Because I want to be clear with this. Don't build software for the sake of building software. Make sure you know why you're building it, okay? I use her tool all the time. And I come in here, I click on create posts, and just as an example, say for example, this post here, right? I'll drop some text inside of it and I'll click add, and then I'll say I want to post this on Facebook. And what this is going to do is going to craft a post to help me write something specifically for Facebook. So she has a bunch of custom prompts inside of here that she uses to kind of help with this stuff. And it's really good. It's a fantastic tool. I highly recommend that you guys use it. In fact, I'm going to drop the link in the chat so that people can actually just go in there and use it. And why am I doing this? Is because what I'm trying to say is don't go reinventing the wheel, okay? There's tools already on the market that does this stuff. She actually already has a platform here that does video. So you can basically choose a video of any different style. See here, like this is an example. You could drop some content in a prompt, and then you could have it generate a video altogether. So the tool already exists, and it actually does work really well. So the question is, why am I building my own? Well, one of the problems that I've noticed with the platform that she has is that it doesn't necessarily conform to my workflow. And before I go off and it just doesn't confirm my workflow. So here's what I'm going to do just to give you an idea of how it works. So I'm going to paste my video ID prompt inside of here, and I'm clicking on generate video. And what it's going to do is just literally going to use this same Remotion tool here, because she uses Remotion in the back end. And it's going to generate a video that you could potentially post on social media. Now, I'm going to argue, this is my subjective opinion here, okay? I'm going to argue that this is AI slop, okay? So see here, it gives you a timeline.
Hi, my name is Sabrina.
And this is, okay? So what it's doing is basically just generating an AI video for you, and then you could basically use that to post on your content. I personally don't like this because it's not me. Okay, what I want to do is if I'm posting something out on the internet, it has to come from me. So if you look at my TikTok channel, for example, okay, everything that I post is 100%. Here we go. So here, I got some new followers. Thank you. No, let me just go to a video that I just posted yesterday. Okay, anything that I post, it's just me talking. That's it. That's all I want to do. And then I show maybe a couple of B-rolls or something. So that's all I want to do with this Remotion tool. I just want to take my content and enhance it a little bit with B-roll. Just a side note as well too. The tool that I normally use for that right now is Descript. Fantastic editing tool, by the way. If you don't know what Descript is, it's a fantastic tool that allows you to do video editing fairly efficiently. And the way how it works, it's very simple. You upload your video and then you just literally edit it like you're editing a Microsoft Word document. So the text is on this right-hand side here. You make edits to the text and it automatically edits the video. It's a fantastic tool for doing lots of video editing. What is the problem with it? Not a lot of problems, to be honest with you. Now they have an option where it says AI edit for clarity, and you could just say moderate or basic edit or heavy editing, and it'll automatically just edit the text for you and cut the video. So this is a fantastic tool. In fact, I wish they had an API, but they don't. What site am I using? I'm using it's called Descript, D-E-S-C. It's called Descript. I'm gonna drop it in the chat. Okay. So fantastic tool for video editing. However, I still have some problems with it. And just to be clear, I use this all the time. So I want to be clear with this, and I keep stressing this point, okay? Look at how many projects I have in here. I have, I don't know, it doesn't show me a count, but as you can see, there's tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of projects in here. Like, I'm not a light user of this tool. I'm a very, very heavy user of this platform. So I'm saying this to say that I know these tools, I've used all of them, and I still am falling short in my goals about being able to produce content at scale, which is why I'm building my own. And that's what I'm trying to encourage and explain to everybody else. Do not build your own tool of any single sort until you actually know what problem you're solving, okay? Don't just go vibe coding things because somebody told you could vibe code tools online. All right. That being said, though, what we're going to do is we're going to go learn this tool, this Remotion tool, and I'm going to use a test video and continue without LinkedIn backup. LinkedIn just keeps crashing nonstop. It's such an annoying thing. Yeah, I don't even know if LinkedIn is working. I'm just going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop using LinkedIn on Ecamm. Yeah, anyway, I digress. Too many technical problems. Okay, so we're going to install this, and then we're going to try to get something going pretty fast, all right? So let me see. I'm going to make my screen just a little bit bigger so you guys could hopefully see it on the mobile. I know it's a little bit hard. This is one of the challenges streaming like this. So let me just change the screen display right now, and then we'll go from there. So here, I'm going to change it to thing 90, arrange, bring this down, click on done. All right, so let's go build a prototype just to see what's possible. Because again, I don't know what's possible here. So we're going to try to build it out together, and then we'll go from there. So I'm just going to do my AI projects here. I'm going to do Remotion. I'm going to create a new folder called Remotion. New folder terminal. Let's make the terminal bigger so everybody could see it. Aggressively big. We're going to paste in Remotion. So we're going to install Remotion. Yes. And then what do we want to do? Create a template, a playground with a simple animation, render, a production video tool built entirely in JavaScript. Record. Choose a template. Recorder. A production video tool built entirely in JavaScript. Okay, hang on. Okay, let me just read the different templates. Playground. A SaaS template for video generation apps. Render videos on demand using Vercel. SaaS template for video generation apps. SaaS template for video generation apps. A video production tool. Okay. Hello World. Starter template in plain English. Remotions from the renders Remotion videos from a desktop app. So this is an Electron app. Okay, I'm just trying to see what templates React still images, audiogram, text and waveform visualization for podcasts, music visualization, prompts to video, create a story, React style, overlay for video editing software. Okay, so that's where we're going to probably go with. TikTok generation animation, animated word by word caption. Okay, let's go with the TikTok. Let's go to TikTok. Generate animations, word by word captions. Yeah, let's go with that. And we're going to call it, let's call it TikTok video editor, because that's creative. VIDEO editor. Okay, we're going to use Tailwind, yes. Are we going to use any agent skills? Sure. And what else? All detect recommendations, yes. Install project, install scope. We're going to do it globally. Recommended, whatever. Install. Install define skills to help discover new skills, yes. All right, CD into TikTok video editor. All right, code. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to use VS Code. And let's put this here, and then let's bring up VS Code. I'll try to make it big for you guys so you could see. Or at least so as big as I can. All right. Okay, so I know nothing about this app, so we're just going to start with the very basics. Let's start with, we're going to go with the Opus 4.6 model. Hey, can you run this application so we could look at it and see how it works? All right. The beauty about AI is that you don't have to know how to use this stuff. You just have to know the foundation, and then you can just go from there. So what we're going to do is we're going to spin this up. We're going to see what we have, just so at least we understand the basics of what... I should just use bun. I should tell it to use bun. Let me just... Okay, we'll let it run with NPM, and then we're going to tell it to just change to bun. I don't want to use NPM anymore if I don't have to. Let's see if there's any other questions. Yeah, I'm fluent in 5 languages on my own. You should see my app framework. I give users 601 million teams throughout every app. 601 million teams. Is that a real number, or you're saying like a lot? Spoke, stop distracting us. Allow us to focus. You guys are too funny in the chat. All right, so so that's too funny. Okay, it came up on the screen here, so let's just do this. All right, so let's see what it actually did. So this is what it did. Okay, it has this. Can you guys hear that? Is anybody? Can you hear that? If I play that, can you hear it? Give me confirmation, thumbs up or something. If okay, thank you, appreciate that. All right, so okay, so that's it, right? Like just make sure I got this right. All we did so far, just make sure I just want to recap, just everybody kind of understand where we are so far. All we did was we went to Remotion, Remotion. I literally click on this link, copied it, run it in the terminal, and then I open it in VS Code, right? And I said, hey, go run this application. Okay. Now I'm just going to tell Claude I want to use Bun going forward because I don't want to use npm. What's the difference for my non-technical people? npm is just faster. Bun is just faster. Going forward, can you just use Bun, B-U-N, going forward so that we have a so that we don't use npm. I just don't want to use npm. Okay, so we're gonna do that. And then while that's happening, I'm also going to do a new session. We're gonna do a new chat. So we're gonna click on this gear here. For those who don't know, if you click on this gear, they've made so many changes to this, so it's really hard to tell you all the different things that's inside of here now. But sorry, not the gear. If you click on the, oh my goodness, they've changed the UI. So now I gotta see, where the hell is it? Is it here? Extension, create agent, generate agent. We want a copilot. C-O-P-I-T. Copilot. GitHub. Okay. It's funny. It doesn't even have a Copilot file anymore. There's so many. Okay, instructions. Here we go. Okay, here. Instruction. Generate instruction. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. They've just changed every single thing. So every time I come in here, it's a different way to do the same thing. All right. So just make sure you get it right. So what you're going to do is, if you're in VS Code, and again, I'm just showing the people that are new to this stuff here. So click on the gear, and then you click on it'll give you this pop-up. You click on instructions. And then you're going to click on generate instructions. Now it gives you this drop down that you could choose what to do, which kind of instruction. So we're going to choose agents.md. This is new. Before, you used to be GitHub Copilot files. So that's the old way of doing things. They've changed it now so that you choose agents.md. What is an agent file? An agent file is just a new standard that they're using in order to help you to do custom instructions for the AI. That's all it is, right? So if you look at their documentation here, so what's going to happen, just to make sure that everybody understands this, okay? There's different types of instruction files. And just to give you a little bit of history, okay? When AI was new, everybody recognized that the way to ensure that the models stay on track is to give prompts, which we all know, instructions, okay? So we've turned those instructions, we put them into .md file. What's an MD file? It's literally like a text file or a Word doc, a doc file. It's just an MD file, stands for Markdown. And so as a result, GitHub came up with their own version called Copilot Instructions because their application is called Copilot. That's what they had. And then fast forward, Claude came out with their own version called Claude.md. And then also OpenAI came out with their own version called agents.md. And as a result, over the years, we've just kind of consolidated on agents.md. The only people that don't use agents is Claude. The Anthropic people are trying to be like Apple, where they just kind of do their own thing and the world just has to follow. But everybody else has kind of standardized on agents.md file. So an agent.md file is nothing more than a text file with a bunch of instructions inside of it. That's it. I see a question about that. Hang on, let me see. Where is that? What VS Code extension are you using? That's a great question. So I'm not actually, well, I got tons of extension in, but let me just, I'll answer that in 2 seconds. I don't have any custom extensions specifically for VS Code that would be relevant to you outside of thing. Any extensions that I have inside of here, if you, as you can see, is a lot of it has to do with very specific, like C# and thing. The only other extensions that I have is I have a Claude for VS Code extension that's relevant to you, and an OpenAI Codex extension, because I switch between those models. See here, I have Claude and I have Codex as well too for OpenAI. And the reason why I do that is because sometimes I get rate limit on ChatGPT, on GitHub Copilot. And so as a result, what I'll do is I'll switch over to Claude, or I'll switch over to OPEX for a bit, use those models for a bit, and then come back to GitHub as well. So, okay, so what we're gonna do is, we're going to click on that gear again, just to make sure everything. We're going to come over here. We're going to click on instructions, and then we're going to click generate instructions, but we're going to use agents.md, okay, as a instructions file. And then generate instructions, select a language, Control K, Control M, start typing or dismiss, don't show again. So interestingly enough, it's not actually generating the thing for me. It's basically, I'm just going to click on generate instructions. So I'm just going to do that. And then what it does, see here, it says / create instructions. And then what conventions do you want to enforce? So I'm just going to tell it after this. I'm going to say, I only want to use bun, B-U-N, not NPM. And we're going to be building out a Remotion application that's going to take in a video and then basically try to edit it, trim it, and prepare it for social media so we can post it. All right, I'm using Claude Code, yes. So I'm using Claude Code in, not using Claude Code. Let me just rephrase that. I'm using Claude Opus 4.6 in GitHub Copilot. Why? Because I find Claude interface not enough. Maybe I'm going to use the word complexity. Claude Code is actually a fairly complex interface, but it's for the things that I'm trying to accomplish, being able to jump through the files and stuff like that. VS Code is still the best editor for me. And so that's why I'm using this. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so this, all we're doing right now is just giving Claude an instructions file so that we have some foundation. That's all we're trying to do here. We're just trying to give some instruction file so that I don't have to keep repeating the same thing over and over. That's all I'm doing, okay? And just for the uninitiated, if I click on that file, it literally, so should the default output be TikTok, Instagram, Reels? Yes. Shorts, FFM for pre-processing, yes. And then, so FFmpeg for pre-processing. Okay, so I should talk about that. So what it's going to do is going to use Remotion. We talked about that before. Okay. Remotion is going to basically allow us to do all the video, let's call it all the images and the animation and all that kind of stuff over the top. And then we're going to use FFmpeg, which is an open source FFmpeg, okay, which is an open source editor that allows you to be able to edit videos, etc. Okay. All right. So now that we have that, now the instructions file is there. All right. Oh, it still did create a GitHub Copilot instructions file. I take that back. I thought it was going to create an agents.md file, which it did, but it made it empty. But the GitHub Copilot file automatically puts in all the stuff that I care about, because what it'll do is it'll scan the folder, figure out all of the files that are in here, and then come up with its own file. All right. So, okay. So now that we have that, what are we going to try to do? I'm going to try to be very simple with this. Okay. So I'm just going to take a video that I have, and then we're going to see what we could do with it. And then we'll kind of figure out what to do from there. And if you notice, again, I'm not reading any manuals. I'm not thinking, I'm just really trying to understand, like, what is it that I'm trying to accomplish first before I kind of think. So I'm going to use this video. Let me see what it is about. Hang on. Great. Good. So this is what we're going to use as our starting point, just to be able to see what this thing can do all together. So I'm just going to copy this And to keep things simple, I'm just going to drop it inside of this folder here. Paste. Reveal in Finder. And then I just got to paste it in this folder. And just to, yeah, we're just going to paste it inside of there. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to try to build on top of this. So without knowing anyway how to build this architecture or whatever, let me rename this to a file name that I know. So I'm just going to say Dwayne, let's call it Dwayne TikTok. Okay, just so at least it knows of it. Okay, so we're going to try this now. So we're going to say, I'm going to open up a new thing, and I'm going to say, hey, can you take the video that's in Dwayne TikTok? Can you basically come up with a strategy on how we'll be able to, 1, read the video, 2, extract the audio, transcribe it, get a transcription, and then we need to be able to trim the video, so edit all the parts that we don't necessarily care about, trim it, and then put overlay on it, a title and a description. Come up with a comprehensive plan for this. We're going to use Cloudflare on the back end, Cloudflare workers. So if you have to create a Cloudflare worker to be able to do that, we're going to get that done. But I want to run this locally first to kind of test it. We're using FFmpeg in the background, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so again, I don't know how to accomplish this task. What I'm really trying to do is sort of structure, get the AI to give me some structure to kind of understand, like, what are my limitations in trying to do this locally versus trying to do it on the cloud. Once I get that framework, I'm going to try to take the next iterative step in figuring out what are the other things that has to be done. All right, so just to kind of just double click on that very quickly. If you're new to this vibe coding world, because again, we're all about vibe coding on this channel, and that's what we're focused on. If you're new to vibe coding, there's kind of 2 different prescribed train of thought that exists with vibe coding. Okay, there's the people that will tell you right off the top, you need to basically come up with a PRD, project requirements document, that will give you a full outline of every single thing that you need or you want to do with the project. And then you'll give it some use as guidelines. So in other words, it's like a Bible. It's like the Bible of truth about how the project should be built. Okay, that's one way of doing it. There's another school of thought, which is you don't really know what you're building with development until you kind of start getting your hands wet and, you know, muddy, and just kind of figure things out as you kind of go. And then as you kind of go, you kind of build the product. So in other words, you're kind of sculpting sort of the application, rather than, you know, you have like a blueprint and you're just building the building from the blueprint, right? Those are the 2 different ways to kind of do software development. I fall in the school of, I'm going to be a sculptor, so I'm going to keep just kind of carving things until I get it right. So that's what this is. That's what you're seeing here, right? Like, there's no formal structure other than I have a framework of what I'm trying to accomplish, and I'm going to start to kind of tell the AI the outline of that so it could come up with a framework. And then as I go along, I'm going to kind of tell it, okay, no, you need to focus on this or not focus on this, etc. Right? So just want to kind of set that precedence, because it's kind of important that we talk about some of these methodologies as we go forward. So with that, let me see what it's saying, and then we'll make sense of what we need to do. Okay, comprehensive video editing pipeline plan. What already exists? Your project already has a solid foundation. Whisper transcription via SMS extract. Really? Does it do that already? Interesting. Extracts the audio transcript. Your project already has this. Outputs it to JSON. Remotion composition. Index renders TikTok style caption over video. Source video. TikTok move is already in place. FFmpeg is available by Bonex Remotion FFmpeg. All right, so what are we going to do here? Local pipeline, FFmpeg plus Remotion plus thing. Audio extraction. So the existing submeg already uses this. We just need to run it against TikTok. Interesting. So what is this? What is this module here? Let me just see here. So they have a module in here called sub. Where is this located? Okay, so this is the very top. So it's using, okay, so this here has an API already set up to basically make a call to OpenAI. So do I not have to give it my keys? Interesting. Or is it doing it locally? Maybe it's doing it locally. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, look at this. Install Whisper. It literally will download and install the Whisper model. That's cool. So I could do this locally. Okay, fair enough. So we'll see. Okay, got it. So run that. This will extract FFmpeg audio, Whisper model. Okay, great. Silence detection. So smart trimming. So build a new script called trim.mjs that measures loudness and basically detects silence and then cut it. Okay, fair enough. So then it'll output the different segments. Got it. And then manual override. You can edit the manual manifest yourself. I don't necessarily want to do that. FFmpeg to re-encode only the parts of the segment. Okay, so retranscribe the trim parts. Interesting. Title and description overlay composition. So overlay scheme. Render final output. All right, so let's see. So architecture, Cloudflare worker backend. So we need something to accept the video URL or R2 key, trigger transcription, accept manifest, return trim video, trigger remotion, dollop, download. Okay, great. All right, so there's a lot of details inside of here. So I'm just trying to skim through it, just make sure we got a thing. All right, so we're gonna try to do this locally first, see how far we get, and then we're gonna go with the. They want me to implement it. Okay, yeah. So I want you to actually implement the entire thing and run it locally, so we could test it to see how far we could get, and then go from there. And if you need to restructure the project to make it into a mono repo, do that. All right, so what do you have code in? Do you have a coding background? Yes, I do. I'm a developer by trade, but I'm a developer gone rogue, is how I like to describe myself. Okay, so any other questions while we wait on this? So, okay, let me just recap what we're doing, because most people are not really understanding what's going on. So, we're doing Cloudflare is funny that I've gone rogue. Yes, I am literally a developer gone rogue. I've abandoned my traits as a true developer. First of all, I never really thought of myself as an actual developer. This is the truth. Okay, so I'll give you guys a background while all this code is running in the background here. So, I'm self-taught developer. To give you some context on how I got into this, I grew up in the Caribbean. I'm in Canada right now, in Toronto. This is where I live. This is my home. This is where my family is. But I grew up in the Caribbean. I've been here for about 20 years now. So this is home for me. But grew up in Antigua, came out of high school, didn't have enough education, all my grades to get into college. And there's only one college in Antigua. They only accept 600 students per year. Just didn't have enough grades to get into college. And started freaking out like anybody would. What am I going to do with my life? All that kind of stuff. And basically got a job selling computers at a local computer shop. Just door-to-door knocking, selling computers, picking up the phone and selling and learn how to sell computers. So did that for a while and realized that I was like, oh, I kind of know how to sell. Now, to be honest with you, I don't think I actually sold it. I never actually sold a computer, okay? I just kept, talk to people, all that kind of stuff. But I was like, I don't know enough about computers, so I wanted to learn. And so I started just learning about computers. One day, my boss came to me. He's like, hey, we need a website. We need to build a website for the business. So I was like, hey, man, if you can get me some books on how to build a website, I'll build a website for you. He's like, oh, okay, no problem. And he was Canadian, so he actually was traveling. He flew to Canada, bought some books for me. And that became the foundation of my education, learning every single thing. So I started learning back then. This is how old I am. It was ASP Classic. Most of you won't even know what the hell I'm talking about because you're so damn young. But, which I'm jealous of, by the way. But ASP is like, this is like, so anybody that's knowing PHP is that era. This is not even .NET. This is before .NET. So all the Microsoft stuff is like, it's like way back in. Oh, I'm 56. Okay, all right, okay, okay. I got nothing on you. But yeah, so way back then, and then that turned into .NET. And no, I know. I listen. We stopped use ASP as of Feb. Oh, that's too funny. That's hilarious. So you know exactly what I'm talking about, Claudette. Colette. So anyway, this is what I did way back then. And as a result of that, started learning .NET and stuff. But every time I learned something, I recognized I didn't know something else, right? Like this is the classic sort of like just just going down a rabbit hole. So I was like, okay, I want to learn about computers. So standard stuff, Microsoft Word, all that type of stuff. Did that, and then learn how to build a website. Built the website for my boss. We did actually launch that website. And then there was kind of a sister company that was kind of up at the top. That was a Yellow Page company. And so I started working for that company, building websites for other businesses. And I would do door-to-door knocking on different people, companies, telling them they need a website. And back then, the funniest thing, like even I knew back then, this was like 1998, 99 era. I was like, people didn't know why they would want a website. Like it was so new, right? And I was like, well, there's tourism and people are coming on the boats, and it would be great if they could look up your website before they come and they know who you are. And they're like, no, why would they do that? They would just come off the boat and just come to the store. Like they couldn't even understand the concept of a website because it was so new at the time, right? But fast forward, I learned how to build websites. And I was like, oh, the website looks like crap. Like it just looks like garbage. So I was like, I need to learn Photoshop. So then I learned Photoshop and learned how to use Photoshop. And then I was like, oh, it looks pretty, but it does nothing. So I was like, oh, I need to learn programming. So I started learning programming. And then it was like, oh, but if you do programming, you have to store the data somewhere. So it's like, well, I got to learn about database, right? And it just kept going and just kept going and just kept going. So it just kept evolving from there. And long story short, I got a job offer from through some connections to a Canadian company, and that's how I came to Canada and started working with a bunch of real actual developers that went to school for software engineer. And that's when I was like, man, I know nothing, absolutely nothing. So I spent most of my weekends going to Chapters, which is a local bookstore in Canada, just reading every weekend. Couldn't even afford the books, so I just go there and I learned that nobody would stop you from actually just reading the books in the store. So I would just go there every Saturday and just sit there and just read the books, right? Today we got the internet and YouTube and every single thing else, so you can learn significantly faster. But back then, we didn't have this readily available information. So yeah, fun times. But that's sort of my background. So I never ever have truly considered myself a programmer because this is not what I learned in school, right? I didn't go to school for it. But yeah, I mean, doing it for 20 years, you're a programmer. Like there's no other word to describe it. Why do I say I went rogue? Is because I've always been somewhat of an entrepreneur and trying to figure out how to do the business side of things. And so I've always never really truly go deep into programming. Like I just surface level to solve the problem that I care about. And then I would just try to figure out how to make money from it. So, but yeah, we stop using ASP forever. The same concept of to convincing people to go responsive instead of using the m.domain. Yes, 100%. Yes, that's right. That's true. Okay. Yeah, you know a couple things about this industry for sure. This app posts on your social for free. That's the goal. That's what we're going to be doing. Interesting. That's a cool story. Thank you for Fanto. I don't know if it's cool, but it's just my story. The point is that what I've learned over the years is that you just have to have a curious mind. That's it. That's all you need. It's just a curious mind. And Coletti, I think I'm pronouncing your name right, says she's 56. I'm like, at this particular point, age is just a number. it's really about the mindset, right? And as long as you have the right mindset to learn and keep exploring, because things are just changing so fast, that's all you need. That's all you need. And now, here's the thing. I'll give you one more story very quickly, and then we'll come back to the coding. When I was in school, like legit, not making this up. This is just my life, okay? When I was in school, high school, I moved around quite a bit, like to multiple different, like 10 different schools in like high school. So I missed a whole bunch of, there was a lot of gaps in my knowledge, and math was definitely one of them. And when I was about 15 or something like that, my average, I'm not making this up, and I'm not even ashamed to say it today, my average for math was like 30%, 30, 30. That was my average, okay? And I was like, they're at the bottom of the barrel in terms of like knowing math and every single thing. Everybody else was doing at least 40 or 50%, right? I mean 30, okay? And then purely out of coincidence, this is just one of those like life connections type of stuff. There was a math teacher that had in Canada. He had a heart attack. This is how crazy this story is. He had a heart attack in Canada. And the doctor said, "Listen, man, you got to take it easy, or you won't live." So I went to a Catholic school. So he came down to the Catholic school there, and he just relax in the Caribbean, all this type of stuff. And like he's one of those people that just can't sit down and just do nothing. So he would like clean the yard, like clean and just do tons of yard work. And this is a guy that's supposed to be like taking it easy, okay? Anyway, long story short, he found out about the math grades. It turns out the whole class and the whole Caribbean was suffering from terrible math. And he's like, oh, I could do something about this. Like, I could definitely teach these people. And he took me in and a few other people that were willing to do it over the Christmas holiday for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks, okay? That's it, just 2 weeks. I go there every single day. We spent about 3 hours or so just learning maths. And he showed me some concepts and he showed me some stuff. And I kid you not, the very next exam, about a month and a half later, because of like midterms or something like that, I went from a 30% average to literally 100%. I was the only kid that got 100% in math. And that was all I needed to tell me that I could learn anything. Because this guy just showed me how, if you just basically apply, he's like, here's some concepts, here's how you got to do it, here's the connection, here's how this works, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. And I got 100 on the test. I was the only person that got 100. And from that day, I've been 100% confident that if I want to learn something, I can learn anything. That's it. Okay. So what I've figured out, and most people know this, you just need a good teacher. You just need somebody that cares enough to teach you the thing. And as long as you have that, you're good. And that guy is the reason why I'm doing these lives and stuff like that, because I care about just teaching other people and just fast tracking their knowledge. Great interaction. You earned a follower. Thank you, sir. Approved my membership in the school. Will do for sure, Mr. Kevin. Self-confidence and esteem. There you go. That's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. So that's why I've decided that I want to be building a company that's going to make $1 billion as a solo founder. It's just what I want to do. Okay. Self-confidence. All right. So what do we have here? Because my computer was running really hot while I was talking to you guys here. So it must have been doing something. Let's see. 4,300 lines of caption. Wonderful day. Transcription completed. Looks good. Remote studio is already running. Port, blah, blah, blah. Pipeline. So adaptive silence. Yeah. Re-encoded. Okay. So pipeline. Okay. So did you give me like a new video? So found. Okay. So only 8 seconds of silence. Not as aggressive as I'd like it to be. And we're going to compare this, by the way, we're going to compare this to a professional tool because I want to show you guys on Dane Brown Trim. Okay. So I want to see this, the actual video, to kind of see what it looks like. So let me do this. Let me, oh, does this thing play video too? Okay, so I just want to see if it feels choppy. Okay, here, let me do this in the right thing. So we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna do Dwayne trimmed. So it so let's just see the file size. So the original file size was, oh, that made it bigger. Wow, okay. The MOV file was 169 megabytes. The trimmed version is now 363, so literally double basically. But let's see if it's what is done. Let's play it and see, so we can just so we can understand where we're at. Yeah. Okay, so okay, so let me just compare that to the original just to see, because it seems like it's just the original, just the beginning of the video got chopped. So let's see. Yeah, so just at the beginning here. Yeah, it just got rid of just that silent section. It wasn't terrible, but it's okay. Yeah, okay. So so let me see. So it's like, is it a 1 second difference? That's 2 seconds. Okay, so it's about 1 second a shade off. That's pretty crazy. All right, fine. So it did do that. All right, what else did it do? So we have the trim video. It also has the it also gave me a, so these are the trim section. Start to trim, and then it did do the video section. So I guess, should I have keep it okay in the same file format, because for some reason the file is much bigger. So let me just ask about that. So I noticed that the file, my original file was 161 megabytes or something like that. And I noticed that this second video is now 300, it's double the size. Is that something I should be concerned about? Should we keep it in the same file format? Like, what's the reasoning for that? Okay, so we're just gonna I just want to understand why the size increase. Obviously, it's a different file format, so different compression and all that kind of stuff. I get that. I just want to know if we should. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Questions. Are you checking the code at all? Nope. Not even close. So I will only check code if it's a very, very, very intricate detail platform that I'm building. So something that is like super sensitive, maybe around finance and all that kind of stuff, then I'll go really in depth with the code. On this kind of level, for an app like this, I wouldn't even look at it. I don't even care. I don't even know what it's doing, right? I understand in principle what I'm trying to accomplish. I understand what the goal is. And then what I'm going to do is I'll basically just isolate that functionality, wrap it into essentially a module or a package, and then just push it up independently. Let me talk about that for a second, because that's super important. Okay, so let's talk about this, because this is actually a really good question that I'm going to kind of dissect for you a little bit, Mr. Rodrigo. I think I got your name right. So here's how you want to be thinking about things. Let's see. We got where's my, okay, here. So you want to be thinking about things in modularity. So any programmer that's in this house right now knows about this, okay? So here's what you want to do. In the programming world, you're always thinking about code in terms of being modular. So what do I mean by that? You want to write small pockets of code that does like one functionality, right? Like, this is just how coding works in any single world. This is how things work anyway. But for example, all right, let's use an analogy that everybody understands more or less, right? Like a car, for example, right? Like in a car, there's the engine block, right? And then there's a starter, which is just a motor attached to the engine. And then you have the drive shaft, right? That's connected inside of there. And then you might have, the fuel pump, or right? Like, there's all these small components that are kind of attached to the main component, right? So it's the same exact same programming concept with programming. You just want to have these oh my goodness, come on, man. help me out here. You want to have these things attached to, why the hell is not right? Yeah, you want to have these things attached to the main block, right, in modularity. And if you do it this way, you accomplish a couple of things. If one breaks, you just swap it in with another, right? So if one breaks, you just swap it in with another. If the starter motor breaks on your car, you just swap the starter motor. You don't have to replace the whole engine. Same concept. That's exactly what we're doing here. So in a case like this, for an application where I'm not a video editor, I don't really know what I'm doing, never done this before, I'm just going to iterate through the concept, figure out how it works, and figure out what are the capabilities. And then once I figure it out and I get the functionality the way I want, I'm going to package that, and this is going to become a starter motor. And then I'm going to ship it into its own, in this particular case, Cloudflare worker. And it's going to just stay there as its own isolated thing. And then I'm going to use other different services to kind of string multiple pieces of the application together to make one big thing. So in other words, if I find a better way to do video editing automated, I'll just swap it out for that. That's the reason why I don't care about the code, because it's throwaway, right? And the truth is, any developer that's a developer knows that your first version is never really that good anyway. So, unless you're working for a really large company that has very, very strict requirements, what you're really trying to do is just kind of iterate, build the first version of the product, get it kind of right, see that it works, and then you go back and do the real thing a little bit better. MVP, there we go. Yes. So that made a huge difference. So the original file was 162 megs. This is before trim, so it turned out to 337 with a trim. The new version after thing is 127 megs. So we still want it right, and this is using a new format, HEVC. This is that new HVAC cover. But okay, fine. So we've dealt with it. This is a 40 to 50% more efficient file compression format. And the audio is at 128 kilobits per second instead of 192. Nobody's cares about that difference, right? Like, you're on a cell phone, even you can't even tell the difference, right? So okay, that's fantastic. So we've solved that problem. So I guess the next question is, so we did some trimming. Great. Let's just double check what else is there next on our to-do list here. Oh, by the way, I need to upgrade the documentation as well too. So can you update the documentation so that we can keep track of all the things where we are so far in the entire project? And actually, you could just put it in the agents.md file. That would be great. Right. By the way, I've come to the conclusion I always ask it nicely. So I always say end now with "that'll be great," because our overlords are watching. Okay, I'm just saying. I just want to be in the good books with the AI, just in case they start controlling the world. I was like, you know what? Dwayne was very pleasant to us every single time. So I'm just saying, okay? Just be nice. These things are collecting data on you at a massive scale, all right? There's somewhere in there's a database with a profile of you and the way that you talk to your AI agent, and you're being graded, okay? So you talk about, China has a social, what's it called? It's a social. So in North America, we have the concept of credit score, right? China has taken that concept one step further, and they have what you call a social credit score, which is basically the way that you behave in public society as well as your finances and every single thing else. And they use that. And if you are misbehaving in society, then they could literally lock you out of every single thing. It's one of the most aggressive things I've seen publicly. We won't go into politics here. However, I believe that is coming for North America. I don't know when, but it's coming. And all this training data that you're basically feeding these AI models, okay, there's my conspiracy hat on there, is being stored somewhere, and it's going to come back to haunt you. So it's going to come back in the form of a credit score of some sort, or a social score of some sort. So be nice to your AI gods, okay? Sounds like a movie. Hey man, movies are always sort of like the futuristic version of real life, okay? So yeah, I'm just saying, I just want to be in the good books. So yeah. Okay, update agents.md with full product scope. Okay, so let's just see what agent.md got. Yes. All right, remotion, mix, full, blah, 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 root cause. Okay, so the other thing I got to check out okay, is I want to make sure, because if you notice, I'm talking about all these workers, but I don't see any workers inside of here, okay? I don't even see, oh, right, actually it did do a worker. Now, we do have a problem here because what it's doing is kind of mixing, I don't know, is it? Ideally, I would like for these projects to be separated. So I'm going to tell it to do that because I don't like, this is just a personal preference, just to be clear. I don't like my workers embedded in the main, in a web project. I want them to be separate. In other words, I want it to be a front end and a back end, okay? So can you do me a favor and just restructure the entire folder structure so that we have a very clear distinction between front end and back end? Have a folder that's called front end, which is going to have all the front end implementation. Have a folder that's called backend, and then underneath that you'll have a clear sort of naming convention that highlights the functionality for each section. Right? This way, it just gives me a mental model so I can kind of track what I'm doing, right? Because there's a lot of stuff going on here, and I don't know all of the details, right? And I don't care about all the details. I'm moving in terms of like broad concepts, right? Move those workers, yes. Yeah. All right. So I'm liking the fact that we're actually getting code done today, which is something that I was really hoping I would be able to get to. These vibe coders don't know any single thing about service workers. Yes, this is true. This is 100% true. So actually, we could, yeah, we'll talk about that while this stuff is going on. So you're 100% right. The biggest challenge that exists with vibe coders today is not obviously writing the code because the AI can write the code. It's coming up with an architecture that can scale. What is going on with my camera? Jeez, bro. Computer, turn on the camera. We got some major problems today. I'm getting hacked or something. I don't know what's happening. Yeah. So. Exactly. I only built to scale. Yes. Now, there is one caveat I'm going to say to you, Clyde, because you're a seasoned developer, and I know this because of the way that you, in fact, you mentioned ASP. No non-seasoned developer knows about ASP. Okay, so I know you're a seasoned developer. There is a problem that we, and I say we as in I included in this problem, have as a technical person, which is when you're building out a business, a new business, you know, in our case, a vibe coded app for social media, you have a tendency to want it to solve the scalability problems first. And this is by far the thing that's going to hold you back the most from a business standpoint. This is what I mean by I'm a developer gone rogue, because I will cut corners as aggressively as I possibly can to ship something. MVP, yes, but it's not just MVP. It's more like MVP to test the market. And it's a real problem because it kind of holds back technical people because they think they have to solve all the different problems, build scalability, build architecture, build, microservices, etc., versus just shipping something and then worrying about the back end later on once you start getting scaled. Because what I've learned, and I've learned this, I'll tell you how I learned this. When I was doing my entrepreneur, one of my startups, we raised some capital from some investors, some small investors in the US. And one of the things that they keep preaching to me over and over is like, nobody cares about the actual product. All they care about is that you can bring in customers. And the minute you can bring in customers, they start throwing money at you. And their philosophy was very simple. They're going to throw money at you to get you to a point where you could start shifting and building the product. It doesn't always work out. I want to be clear with this. It doesn't always work out. But it's definitely the mindset of Wall Street, which is build the product, get the customers, and then go back and deal with technical debt at a later date. It's not your problem. Your problem is basically to focus on the growth. So this has been a hard mindset shift to make for me personally because I'm so intricate about architecture. But fast forward, I've been finding the sweet spot. And this is where Cloudflare really, really shines because I don't have to think about global scale to earth. I just deploy one stupid worker and that just automatically gets scaled to global scale. And that's been a phenomenal shift in the way that I kind of think about things because I don't have to think about the architecture. I just know it just comes for free, quote unquote. Right. But what I was getting at is for vibe coders, we talked about this idea about building small services. Just keep building out. So for workers, build your front end. Okay, let's put this as your front end. All right. Create a folder for front end. Create a folder, like literally just create a folder called front end, create a folder called back end. Okay. And then have a worker do one very specific thing. This is, I'm going to give it kind of a with an asterisk here because I don't want you to create 100 workers, but maybe like 5. And I'll show you a real example of this because I'll show you my application that has literally 1 million plus lines of code that's set up like this. But basically, and then your backend, you'll have all of the workers for each functionality, right? And your front end will just call each backend as needed, okay? And then what you're going to do, again, go use my security sort of guideline thingy in my vibe coded community that I put inside of here, and I'm going to link to, that basically will allow you to kind of talk about rate limiting, authentication, and stuff like that. But I just want to answer this for my non-technical people, okay? And what you're going to basically do is you're going to basically put some, like the way how workers work is you could put, I'm just going to put it like this. You could basically put a shield to kind of block, security, rate limit meaning that you kind of slow down people from hitting your API too fast, and just making there's some validation on the back end side. Okay, I'm oversimplifying a lot of details here, but I just want to kind of give you some concepts to kind of think about things. Okay, so with that, let's see what our AI gods have done. Okay, so here, yeah. So what it's done, it's basically created a backend folder, a front end folder. It has this whisper.cpp, which is it literally brought down an entire, that's crazy. It brought down the entire translation layer. I wonder how good this translation layer is. Like, who made this? Whisper. Is Whisper an open source project? Voice, audio. Because I was thinking I need to use Whisper. Whisper is an open source automatic speech recognition system developed by OpenAI. Okay, right. Okay, so I'm thinking about the same Whisper. So they made it open source. So interesting. I didn't know that. I was wondering why a re-implementation that's 4x faster than the original, uses less memory. Okay, this is interesting. So browser in the cloud. So Google Colab, run Whisper for free using high-end GPU provided by Juniper. Okay, so provides world level timestamps and speaker duration. Who is speaking? Okay, so the Whisper X and then this faster Whisper. Interesting. So there's some open source projects. I didn't know about this. Faster Whisper translation. Okay, got it. So open source Whisper. Yeah, okay. So what's their speed difference? How fast is it? Times. Fast. Oh my goodness, it's really fast. Look at this. Same file. Okay. Is it? Yeah. Batch size. Okay, so this is batch size of this thing. So instead of 2 minutes, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, this is 17 seconds. Okay, this is 59 seconds, and this is 16 seconds. That's fast. That's fast. So faster Whisper. Huh. Who'd have thought? And it's Python? Really? Interesting. Oh, it does require CUDA though. So it needs an NVIDIA chip card maybe. Okay, that's fine. That's good to know. So, okay, because I was wondering why, yeah, so Whisper is just open source now. So that's great. So, damn, what is going on with my light? What is going on? Huh. All right, I don't know what's happening. Tons of technical problems today. What took a minute? So yeah, that's what I've been using. Sorry, just getting covered. So exactly, I only build to scale. Yeah. Yep, that's what I've been learning since February. Okay, got you. What took us 1 month to framework, they can do it within minutes. I was mind blown. For production, not like that. Laugh, I think cry. So there is a difference between building for production and building for MVP. There's no question about it. Okay, you can. that's the thing about vibe coders. Vibe coders believe that they could spin up an application and they could just do it for what do you call it? How would I describe it? They can spin up an application and it works and then that's it. But they don't realize there's bug maintenance. There's lots of other stuff that has to be done in the back end to make things work properly. So let me just see where we got here. So I got an API back end. I got processing. So concat, transcript, and transcribe. Okay, fair enough. So let's do this. We're going to try to push this up and see, because what else am I missing? Okay, let me just double check. Am I missing any single thing else here? Can we get this? Can you run the, let me just check the video, see if it actually did it, because I don't actually know what we've done so far. So trimmed video. I got distracted, so I don't actually know if it actually did. My computer was going pretty crazy though. So front end, is it? Public. So we got a trimmed video. Okay, do we need to push this up? Can we run this locally to kind of test it and make sure that oh my goodness, the audio, what am I thinking about? The transcript is overlaid on top of the video. And can we put a title on top of the video and then create a new name for it so that we can know that this is the AI edited version? See, here's what I'm struggling with right now. I don't know if I just have to, I can keep this. I mean, I should be able to because it's all JavaScript. So obviously you could run it locally. I just want to understand where my limitations are. And then the other question that I'm having here is, do I see this transcript is Whisper and it's all in CPP. It's in C++. So I can't run this on Cloudflare. So I'm kind of curious on how we're going to solve that problem. I have to run it in a container. Which, by the way, Cloudflare containers are they're really fast. Really, really fast. I've tested them. While I'm waiting for all of this, okay, I'm going to talk about some random stuff because this came up this morning. Just want to talk about it just for a second while we're waiting on more code generation. So my app, which is a construction software app, one of the things that I built for it that I'm so happy and proud of, okay, is what I call a self-healing system where okay, let me explain what was one of the problems. I got to come up to this account because it's a real customer account. So one of the problems that we've had time and time again is every single time. So this app here is written in Nuxt Vue.js 2, by the way. It's an old application that needs upgrading. Something I'm more confident in doing now because there's just so many details. But anyway, so we built this, and one of the biggest problems that I was running into is the fact that every now and again the app would slow down, and I wouldn't know what the problem is. This is like a constant thing. And then we would get a customer that keeps sending us email, hey, the app is running slow or there's problems or whatever. These are the things that when you do vibe coding, you run into over time, right? And you got to maintain it. There's lots of support and tickets and all that kind of stuff. There's a whole backend set of challenges that you have to deal with. And these are the things I'm trying to educate people on. But the issue has been that I just didn't have a way of solving this in a way where the customer doesn't have to keep sending me emails all the time. And I've thought about a few things over the years, but never actually implemented it until vibe coding came about. So one such example is if this application slows down. So right now in the application, and I think every application should have this by default, because it's a front-end application, it's just in JavaScript, it sits in the browser and it keeps pinging the backend periodically, not enough to like DDoS it or anything, but periodically. And what it'll do is basically it takes the log of the times that it's running, and if it detects any slowdown, it'll do it like 2 or 3 times. And then if it detects any slowdown, it'll notify the user by just putting a banner up at the top here that says, hey, we're experiencing some degradation of service kind of deal. And then you could click into this portal and this will take you to a status page. And this status page here will tell you the different modules that are in the application, how fast it's running on average. So my print service was actually down this morning for some strange reason. I didn't even look at it because the system automatically notified the user about that problem. It just sends me an email saying, hey, we got some problems on the system, but it doesn't, that's it. That's all I have to do. This has been a game changer because I can't tell you the amount of support emails that we used to get because the system is slow and nobody knows what's going on. And as a result, I'm talking like just from one customer alone, any single time this happened, we would get anywhere from 5 to 10 emails in a week. Sometimes, like not every time, but sometimes. That's cut every single one of those emails down. We don't have to do it anymore because they just know to come here and look and see, oh, they're having print issues, or oh, they're having things. Like it's a game changer. In fact, I would recommend this if you're building out any real application, that you having a status page that's not just like it's not just telling you whether the development side of the app is up or down. It's literally telling you the status of the actual app from the customer's perspective, right? I'm in Oakville, Ontario, so it's giving me Oakville, Ontario, like route of traffic, right? Whatever network path my application is going through. So anyway, I just wanted to share that because this was something that just eliminated an entire class of support tickets for us that we didn't have to think about. We don't have to think about anymore. And so when the customer is sending us messages, it's because it's a very specific thing that they're sending us. So anyway, I'm going to try to do some documentation on how I actually did this and how it's set up. I've been very slow with updating details in the school community. So H1 complete. Okay, so let's see what it's doing. Okay, so it's running. Good. So H1 conversion progress as well, encoding, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, my computer is like running like hot because it's legit trying to do work. No entry, compacted conversation. Okay, so we'll see what it does because now I'm curious to see if it actually can get the overlay and all the other pieces proper. All right. Useful. Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that. So actually, let's just go back to that for a second just to show you. So I think it's cool. So see, it has this little server icon here and it shows green. And it says all systems operational. And so just to kind of add some more color to this, I used to use tools like Uptime. This is the beauty about software now. Uptime. I used to use this platform, Uptime Monitor. There's tons of these tools out on the market, okay? And they're great. Don't get me wrong; they still work. In fact, I still use these guys. The problem was that these things are monitoring from their own network around the world, and it's possible that their network might have problems and my network does not have problems. So that was one of the problems that we were seeing at scale, right? And then the second class of problems was, a customer might have an issue isolated to one customer. And it was just this really annoying thing to kind of trace every single time because our uptime monitoring system would be saying every single thing, it looks fine. There's no issues. And however, the customer would be having complaints and we just wouldn't know what it is. So by having a basic monitoring system in the actual application pinging back to the service and then keeping track of its own like success messages, and if it gets like 3 or 4 in a row of failure, then it actually reports to the customer and then it actually notifies us, really, really helps. Like just a dramatic help. And just to give you guys an idea what that looks like, just so you could see, this is what it looks like. So I have to yeah, it's fine. It's not a big deal. So this is what it looks like. This is what it comes to me as. So if my app sort of fails for whatever reason, it'll show me system health alert and it'll basically show me and it tells me exactly which user has that problem. And then whenever it self-heals itself, then I'll get another email like this. And then it'll show me exactly which user it healed for. So it gives me a report on exactly which user actually had the problem and which user does not have the problem anymore. And so I could normally I wait for the sometimes they'll say you might have a blip in the service, so it might be like a 2 seconds or 5 seconds or like a 3 minutes, and then it'll send me a notification like 3 or 4 minutes later saying everything's fine. And that just eliminated a level of stress from my life that I didn't even know I had until I started dealing with things at scale to run into these kind of problems. So yeah, anyway, just thought I'd share that because it's one of those things that you don't really think about until you start to hit real skill challenges. As a solo founder, by the way. So, okay, I digress. Where are we? Come on, man. Get your crap together. So we got some rendering issues. Are you still working or you're not? No, you. What are you doing? You're not even doing anything. Hey, can you fix the rendering issues? Like we're not finished here. Get to work. I just told you guys it'd be nice with AI. Yeah, okay. Let's just see what's going on. So listen, we're gonna get this going. We're gonna push it up in a bit. We got about 20 more minutes here. I'll do a little bit later on because we had so many technical problems at the start. But if you guys got questions, feel free. We're gonna open it up to questions and Q&A, and also I'm gonna try to do this every single week. And I should announce this at the starting of the video. By the way, if you're new here, you don't know who I am. I have a vibe coding community, so that's called Dwayne.me. Dwayne.me. It's called Dwayne Vibe Code to Profit. Free community, join it. I'm still working on it. It's kind of a work in progress, but I'm going to be adding a bunch of tutorials specifically around Cloudflare and how to set up your project properly in the Cloudflare and build a real business, not like just vibe code for the sake of vibe coding. Anybody can teach you how to vibe code. I'm trying to teach you how to build a real business so you can scale and actually make real money. What happens if you run out of credit? You get more credit. I want to show you an app I'm working on. Yeah, 100%. Let's go. This is where we are. Like the last half an hour, we're going to keep doing this every single time. Every week, we're going to just bring one person up. They're going to share their app, and we're going to talk about it. Drop it in the chat. Let's look at it. I presume you're talking about now, right? Because I'm ready to go. Yes, So what happens if you run out of credit? Let's talk about that for a second while we wait on Colette to bring up her app. So if you, how do I say this? If you run out of credits, there's a couple train of thoughts. If you're doing all this vibe coding stuff and you think you're gonna just, okay, let's back up a little bit. If you're vibe coding an app, there's a couple ways that you could be thinking about it. Number one is you just need to solve an annoying problem that you have in your life. Okay. The other side is if you're vibe coding an app and you're trying to make money. All right. If you're vibe coding an app and you're making money, then you should be charging your customers accordingly for the credits that they're using to do stuff. So what do I mean by that? For example, we're building a video editing app. So I might give my users 2 or 3 video editing on the cheap tier, and then after that they absolutely have to pay. Okay, and to keep costs low, I might shove my cheap editors. Let's say somebody's paying me $24 a month or $30 a month or something like that. I might put them on my low, like my least expensive models. So in other words, slower models. And my premium customers that are paying me $200 or $300 or $400 a month or whatever, I put them on a more expensive tier so that they get faster service. Now, the other thing that I would absolutely recommend you guys do from a business standpoint is whatever the company is charging you, double the costs. So I'll give you a real example of that, and then we'll jump into it. I'm out. I'm not. So hang on. So, okay, sorry, I'll get to the chat in a bit. Let me just finish my thought here. So, for example, I have a service. This is my other startup that I'm dealing with calls. We talked about this one last week, in case you guys missed it. That is dealing with cold calling and lead generation and all this type of stuff. So, hang on, is it going to load or what? What's going on here? Okay. So in here, there's a service that I have because it does a whole bunch of stuff: lead generation, cold calling, all that kind of stuff, domain name purchases, etc., etc. Right? One of the services that I have here is called, where is it? Come on, integration, phone numbers. Okay, and let me put the privacy thing on. I have a privacy thing so I could just hide all the phone numbers, which is by far one of the best features, by the way. If you're vibe coding an app, always put a privacy feature inside of it, so it just automatically, you could click on that button, it'll just hide all the information. You could just show any single thing live on screen. Highly recommend this. This is just my pro tip. Anyway, so in this tool, I could come in here, I could basically filter by Twilio, and I could say, hey, I want to buy a phone number, and I could just instantly press this button and it'll buy a phone number from Twilio. Okay, Twilio charges me, I think now their numbers is $1.15. or something like that, or $1.50, something like that, I'm charging my customers $3. I don't even think about it. I just double it. Okay. And the reason for this is very simple. If you just develop that business model of just simply doubling the price, in some cases, okay, maybe 30% or 40% or whatever the deal is, but some kind of markup. But the reason why I'm doing just a blunt double of any service that I use is that it just completely just insulates me from any sort of like expenses that I don't necessarily foresee, like spike in traffic and all this kind of craziness. Just instantly, whatever the customer is using, I just instantly double it on the back end side at minimum. So same thing goes for credits. If you're going to set up credits for your customers, you give them, X amount of credits, and when they're buying credits from you, they're buying it at twice the price. Okay, this is just basic business sense. In the traditional world, it's called keystone pricing. Just so you guys know, okay, for my non-business people here, KUISTONE. Okay. So this is your Walmarts, this is your Google, this is every single thing. Is 100% markup or 50% gross margin. Okay, so keystone pricing is a straightforward retail strategy where the selling price of an item is double from whatever is wholesale. So in other words, most of the stuff that you're buying in the store, it's double the price. That's it. Just very simple mathematics formula that allows you to just mark things up just 100%, right? And so you're able to just make money in that way. Pretty simple. Okay, for the 50% margin at minimum. So yeah, and different things have different pricing, but I just want to make sure that you understand that, like, if you're going to do any single thing in the vibe coding world, the AI models will change, the pricing will change. So you have to make sure that you're really on top of that, and whatever they give you, double it. And so you shouldn't run out of things. All right, let's see. Currently, I'm building an app using Lovable for a client, running into a lot of issues using Vappy for customer outbound calls. Oh, interesting. Okay, I've been using Vappy, so this might be a bigger conversation, but happy to talk about it. Customer outbound calls. Cash out. Are you an engineer? Cash out. I am not. Okay, cash out. Are you? What's up, sir? Hey, Mr. Foundry, how are you doing, man? Let me know if you do not see the link. I didn't see the link. Let me hear. Where did you put it? Did you put what took us 1 month for? No, I don't see any link. Okay, here we go. Chatbot, got it. Okay, I gotta type it out. Okay, hang on. chatbot.cmbrandsstudio.com. No, did I get that right? CHAT chatbot. Yes, CMB. 1S. All right, okay, got you. Yep, I got you. All right, let's see what we got here. All right. Chat Assistant Studio, how it works thing. Add a chatbot to your website without the confusion. Start with a simple one-time setup. Upgrade anytime for better performance, templates, and support. Yes, you can find free tutorials online. This system walks you through it step by step in plain language with guidance from a professional developer so you don't get stuck. Okay. All right. So, okay. All right. I have questions already, but let me just go through and just see. Get a starter kit. Pricing similar one time. So get early access to launch chatbot with a simple one-time setup. Lock in the power price before release. This isn't just information, it's a structured system designed to help you begin things. Okay, so, all right. I'm almost there, okay. Want early access, simple rule-based chatbot, AI trained, done for you. Claim early access, got it. Set up your API safely, blah, blah, blah. Okay, got it. Okay, all right. Okay, so what you'll do for you, set up your API safely, create your chatbot, connect frameworks, deploy chatbot live, how chatbots help, Never miss a lead. Okay, save your repetitive works, work on time, blah, blah, blah. All right. See what you actually do. Preview. Got it. Okay. And then non-AI chat rule based. Okay. See it in action. Got it. Okay. Okay. All right. First thoughts. Let's talk about that right away. So flip the chatbot and chat agent. Yes. Okay. Flip the chatbot to chat agent. Good call. Yes. 100%. All right. Here's my thought. Just right out the bat thing. As you know, these are all sort of live. So on initial, gotta change the UI. It feels like AI slop at this particular point, sadly, because we've all seen what an AI chatbot looks like. So, I'm sorry, what an AI website looks like. So immediately it feels like an AI website. Okay, if you're non-technical, you don't know, so it might be fine, but it feels like an AI website. So I don't like that. Okay, so the simple thing to do is go to Lovable or any one of these websites and just literally say, take the website and just say, give me 5 versions. Just force it to give you 5 completely different versions. And what will happen there? It'll force the AI to just be more creative. Because right now they default to their default state, and that creates a problem just from a look and feel standpoint. So you have to kind of force it by just telling it to give you more versions, and then it'll automatically just variate from the styling. Okay, and then that alone will just get you off of the standard cookie cutter path. So that's just my first initial sort of take on the on it. Okay, so outside of that, let's just talk purely on the content standpoint. Okay, I've added images yet. Got it. Yeah. I'm a designer. Got you. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. But force the AI to do more than it's doing by telling it to give you more designs, and you're going to be way ahead of the game. So you don't have to necessarily do as much design thinking. All right. There's one, I'm going to call it problem / issue with this website, which is kind of a big deal. It's telling me what it's doing, but it's not telling me about the problem. You know what I mean? Like I don't know I understand, like, okay, you know the problem because you're technical and you understand that most non-technical people, in other words, I understand what you're trying to do is what I'm saying, but hear me out for a second. So you as a technical person understand that if you're non-technical or you've never done this before, there's some real challenges in setting up a chatbot on your website, including making sure that the security keys are properly stored correctly and that it's set up correctly and that it's, you're not going to miss leads and it's not going to got a bunch of errors, etc. So you understand this. However, the person that's never set up a chatbot on their website don't understand that there's problems setting up a chatbot. Does that make sense? Right? So what you really want to do is you want to highlight the problem so that they understand it. It's like, hey, trying to set up a website. Do you have these problems? Can't figure it out? You're right, like don't know what an API key is. Like whatever those problems are, you need to highlight it so that they understand that you're going to guide them through that process of getting it set up. So that's kind of the train of thought that you have to kind of go with, right? So with that, I don't like the fact that, so you said chatbot, if I'm going with easy, so if I'm saying, yes, it's an easy setup, don't tell me nothing about upgrade right now. Upgrade me later on, right? Like I don't need on my first hero page for you to tell me I'm going to get you a chatbot setup, but I'm also going to tell you that you need to upgrade, right? For better performance. I didn't even know any single thing about performance until you just told me. So it's like, oh, so you're telling me it's going to be slow, right? Like that immediately comes to mind. So eliminate all of that sort of like extra brainwave thinking by simply just focusing on the problem that you're solving, and then you explain the solution, right? Always think in the form of problem solution. If you do that, guarantee it'll go sort of more straight. Hang on, reading your question. Play with the live chat bot on the site there as well. Okay, got you. So what does this site offer? So that's one, and then the other thing that I would say is you get step-by-step guide to set up your chatbot, or I can help handle it for you depending on the options you choose. Right. So I guess what's unclear to me with this business model is the step-by-step. So are you telling me that you're going to jump on the phone with me and guide me through the process of setting up a chatbot? And if that's the case, then how it works. So hang on. So how it works. So a quick preview of the exact steps you'll take. Add your API key to your code. Right. So I think what I'm getting at is you are going to guide me through this process in the back end of this application. Is if I understand this correctly. And so yeah, did I get that right? Yeah. If there's an actual step by step, not showing that yet. Got it. So in other words, I'm going to guide you. So okay, so there's some interesting assumptions here, because what you're telling me, and again, this my goal is to challenge you in the way that you're thinking about things, right? So if I went to Intercom, okay, if I went to Intercom as an example, okay, the help desk designed for AI agent, is it Intercom or maybe yeah, Intercom does have a chatbot. Okay, so Intercom might be too enterprisey. What's another one that we could kind of use? Give me one that I'm trying to forget. Is it Drip? Oh, I forget Dripify. I'm totally like lose my mind on a chatbot. Pingdom? No, that's not. Oh my goodness, I'm losing my mind here. I'm losing my mind. Website monitoring. This is website monitoring. My chat. There we go. Okay. My chatbot. Yes. Okay. Great. So AI agent that sells support marketing ticket. Okay. So here, this is where the business model I'm going to challenge you on a little bit here. Okay. So this is a chatbot that obviously it does a lot of things. I understand that very clearly. The question is, why is it so complex? And then secondly, if I'm paying $49 per month, are you telling me that I'm not going to be able to get support to be able to set this up on my website, that it's going to be so complex that I'm going to be frustrated, right? Like what I'm getting at is, like, if I just bought this chatbot from this company, why would I then go to a completely different company to then get help in setting it up? Like, why am I not contacting support? You understand my problem, right? And so I have a disconnect there with why would I go to you versus just going to the chatbot support to get the help. Now, if you told me that you're a preferred vendor or a implementation vendor or ISV, right? You know the term initial software vendor, or I forget what the term means. Anyway, ISV. If you're an ISV that for my chat bot that I would sorry, I'm totally confusing you. What I'm saying is, if you're a partner of my chatbot and you are the preferred IT company, let's just keep it simple, IT company for my chatbot, so that whenever I go to you, you have my chatbot says, hey, go to our preferred vendor, aka you, and you will help us to get that set up, and you'll just charge a fee. That makes sense to me. But if I'm just signing up and then I have to go to a third party, I'm questioning what's going on here, if that makes sense, right? So I want you to really, really think about that. So what you have to do is you have to zone in aggressively on the problem. And this problem that you're zoning in on has to be big enough that I'm willing to just hand it off to you to just get it set up. I don't want to think about it. All right, zone in. Sorry, yes. Okay, so hang on. Let me try to get up with the chat. So go to invite. So Yami at Yami is right. Where's that Yami? Where's that Yami? Yami. Oh, good points. Okay, got it. So use code pen for fresh ideas. Haven't done it. Yes. So this is where my brain kind of goes, and so there's going to be an interesting challenge that you're going to have with selling this, okay? And then the other problem is, let's back up for a bit here. Damn it, did I lose the link again? Okay, hang on. I gotta get it. This right here. Okay. So now my next question is, I don't know who this is for. Like, is this for the entrepreneur that is non-technical and they've never set up a chatbot on their small mom and pop website? Or is this for an enterprise type of organization that got a whole bunch of stuff going on and they just want to outsource getting this chatbot set up and integrated with their existing platform, right? So I want to be clear. I'm not saying that you don't have a business. I just want there has to be a little more distinction of exactly who this product is for, and it's not very clear to me, right? Because if I'm an enterprise company, I'm probably coming to consultants like, you know what, just we need a chatbot set up on our platform so that we could basically increase our ROI and reduce abandoned carts on our website. And I was like, we're just going to go to an implementation expert that's just going to get this done. I'm with you all day long. Let's go. You know what? The guys at Chat Assistant Studio, they're fantastic at this stuff. Just get them to just do it. Done. Right? But if I'm not that type of company and I'm a mom and pop, then I really need some clarification as to the value and the problems. And those problems have to be identified that I'm identifying with, if that makes sense, right? So now, that being said, though, outside of that, here's a good place to go find those problems. And I've talked about this tool a ton of time before. So please, you guys take me up on the offer and go use it. Okay, take your tool and then go into apps. I have no full affiliation with this tool. In fact, I should, because it's so good. Okay, go to Subsonar, which is a random guy that I found online that built a vibe coded app that does one thing really, really well. And what it could do is you basically put in your app inside your website, inside of Subsonar, and it will go out, read your website, and then go find similar chat conversations of people on Reddit having similar problems to go figure out the problems. Okay, so he's my inspiration. Yes, I think I spoke about it last week. Every week I'm going to talk about this guy because he's one of the best vibe coding application that I've seen that solves one problem really, really well, right? And so anyway, the point here is that
here is your reminder.
Computer, stop.
Start workout.
Computer, stop. So the point is that if you go into the Reddit groups, the very specific Reddit groups of people that are having very specific problems around chatbot implementation, take that language or copy it and put it into ChatGPT and get ChatGPT to come up with highlighting what the problems are. In other words, reframe it, and then use that language to put on the website. So you're literally talking to those people, and then go into Reddit forums and then message those people and say, hey, I got a solution that helps to solve this problem. All right. So that's how I want you to kind of think about it. But overall though, it's definitely, it has a lot of potential because I know this is actually a real thing, even for me as a technical person. Like, I hate the idea of chatbot. The thing that I would add to this, just as in addition to this as a sort of a service, would be not just chatbot, but it would be like RAG. You're technical, so you understand what I mean. Like retrieve augmented generation, so that you could basically help to customize in other words, train the chatbot specifically to your company. Like, I would include that as part of like a bigger service. So maybe it's like implementation, we help you implement this, which is like let's call it a basic service. And then if you really want to do chatbot like proper, then here's a RAG solution where we could basically train your chatbot on your company's data so that the chatbot actually responds properly. And now I could charge you like $1,000 or $3,000 or $4,000, etc. Right? I could upsell you so you have kind of a two-tier model, because I think you'll get more value there where people have existing platforms and they already have, like, think like manufacturing or something like some random manufacturing company. Actually, one comes to mind because I was working with these guys kind of. There's a company called CRNEY. Oh my goodness. CRNEY. So here's an example for you, okay? And I think now I'm thinking about it, this might be a market that you could kind of penetrate. So this is a company, Carney Battery Handling. They're like a battery company that does like steel and all kinds of stuff. And they got tons of big customers and things. But all they do is literally, they just sell the items that basically help you with battery, like handling batteries for forklift and all kinds of stuff. These are like super heavy batteries, okay? This is not a batteries going into like your, I don't know, your remote control, okay? So they need like specialized equipment to handle the batteries. If you came to this website and you didn't know any single thing about how it works, a chatbot would be a fantastic tool on this website. See, they do have a chatbot here, okay? It says call and chat. But it's like a basic primitive chatbot from the 1990s that does absolutely nothing. So you picture the idea of being able to train your whatever chatbot they use, but train it with AI data so that they can actually answer a question on the website. I think it's a fantastic upsell. So that you have like a basic tier where we just help you with the implementation, and then we have sort of an upsell tier, and then you can make some proper money. So anyway, hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully that's giving you so at least some framework to kind of think about things a little bit. Um, um, yeah, so right, and I think this manufacturing space, by the way, is a on like it's just there's so much potential here and there's so much money in this space. To give you some perspective of this company looks big on paper because they are a big company. I think they have, I don't know how many workers they have, over 200, 300 workers or something like that. But they only have two sales guys. They have two salespeople. One guy is the owner, and there's just one other person, and they're struggling just to be able to figure out how to like keep up with it, and they have one person that does their marketing with their website and stuff like that. But most of these manufacturing companies are set up with that very, very small people in the amount of people in the office, everybody else in the warehouse. And those are the kind of businesses that really need help with things like AI chatbots and stuff like that. So focus on that category of business, because you're gonna go really far, because they're non-technical, they're not techie savvy business people. They're good at what they do, but they don't get the web stuff, and they need the help, right? So that's how I would approach this. But fantastic idea, great product. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate you allowing me to kind of riff on your work. Um, but yeah, definitely like the overall concept, tons of potential, right? Hang on, did Substack get us anything? Did they find it? Okay, here. Customer advice, website advice for GoDaddy, Outcast, Uber. No, this is okay. So this is a little bit off. I'm attempting to build my own website. Let me see. Um, I've started a small business in artist Puerto Rico, and I'm attempting to build my own website with base. I've been working on the site for months and blah blah blah. Cannot find support Puerto Rico, which is where LLC blah 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 kind of deal. 10 hours it seemed to be good. Right. So you see, like this is not necessarily the right audience, but here this is the problem that I would kind of foresee you would run into with your business, which is, for example, this is somebody that's building a website with GoDaddy. Obviously, they don't know what they're doing. They're running into a bunch of problems. Say after a lot of fighting, at least 10 hours with customer support, it seems like the only option is getting a refund and starting over. I feel like the rug is pulled under my thing, because they're using GoDaddy's very, very crappy website builder, which is just, anyway, I don't want to be sued by GoDaddy, but I'm just saying, like, not that good of a product. So I would be afraid of you getting too many customers like this. Maybe they pay you on a cheap level, but they would need so much help that it would just become, your business model won't scale, right? So what you want to do is kind of use this type of audience to give them like a cheap way of getting a chatbot on their website, super fast, super efficient, low touch, no kind of deal, and then go to like a manufacturing type companies, and then really sell the real product, which is basically training your AI on top of it. So yeah. All right. Hopefully that's helpful. Let's see if we got. Did we do anything today? What did we do? We just talk a whole bunch of crap. Okay, you can open the file, review it. It should have the video playing with the title overlay. Are you sure? I don't know. Do you guys believe it actually did anything? Let's see. Let's find out. Moment of truth. Front end. So what is the video called now? Moment of truth. Reveal in Finder. You guys think it did anything? Let's see. Let's see. So, trimmed. Dwayne Brown TikTok. So is this the new version? MPEG 4? No. Or did it just... I don't know what it did. So definitely not this. There's no video. There's no thing on that one. And then maybe this one. Still don't see any writing on this one. Okay. We're gonna ask you one question and then we're gonna just okay, buddy. Okay, you said that you did the video. Well, where's the video? Oh, here, AI to edit. Well, why is that not showing up? Hang on a second. Where's this video? Oh, it's in a different folder. Okay. Hang on. Maybe the AI is not that. Okay, let's see. Did it do anything? Hang on. We'll find out. It looks darker, or maybe it's just me. Let's see. Wayne steak. Come on. Hey, hang on. I want to make it full screen. Okay, here. Hey. Okay, so I don't like the font. All right, so here's the good news. The good news is the transcript is actually pretty accurate. So that's fantastic. And it's overlaid. I hate the font. And I don't like the like this is a stupid title. Dwayne's Take, watch till the end. So stupid. Okay, so not TikTok ready, but it did do the thing that I asked it to do. So now it's a case of did I lose my audio? What do you guys not hear me? Not hear me? Hang on. Let me see. Testing 1 2 1. Yeah, I hear you. Okay, that's good. Okay, great, Richard. Thank you. So yeah, it did do the thing that I asked it to do. It did put a title and it did put a the transcript. So that's not bad. Now it just it's a case of styling, right? So okay, let's try one more thing. Let's do this. Let's see if we can push it a little bit. So let's go to Descript. Where's Descript? Actually, I don't know if it'll render in time, but let's try it anyway. We're gonna try it. DESC, because I'm going to go to Descript. We can hear you, but not the video. Okay, got you. Okay, thank you. Good to know. Hearing the audio from the video is not that important, but sure, yes, I appreciate you giving me that feedback. So let me do this. I'm just gonna basically take this screenshot and I'm gonna tell it to use this as a styling because that's what I wanted to do. Okay, come on. I'm losing screen. Man, my computer's like really cranking out today. Holy moly. Okay, hang on a second. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this and then we're gonna do it like this. And take a screenshot, Control Shift. By the way, if you're on a Mac, Control, I just learned this recently. It's Control Command Shift and the number 4, and then you could drag and get a screenshot, and it just puts it in memory right away. So you could just paste it back in the AI without having to like save it and then blah 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 blah. You guys know what I'm talking about. So check. So okay, so I'm gonna tell it. So okay, you did every single thing. However, the title is just very, very vague. I needed AI, use AI to take the transcript, use AI to come up with a proper clickbait title. And then I want you to keep the title for at least 30 seconds on the video. And also, if you could see the screenshot that I have and basically put it in that exact same design style, where the title is sort of slanted. My clickbaity title is slanted and to the side with the purple, and then you have sort of the text in like two lines at the bottom with that kind of styling. Okay, so let's see how it actually do. That's actually not bad. That's actually not bad. So now that we know that we have at least the capability of recording the video, getting the transcript, trimming the audio. It's not the best trimming, I'll be honest with that. It's not the best trimming, but that's okay. Like No. Here's a question for you, because one of the things that Descript does really well is Descript does automatic filler words. See here, I could do remove filler words, and it will just automatically go through and just remove any filler. I don't have filler words in this one here. Let me see if I could. Let me upload another video. Let me find another video here. Let me see if I could get any filler words. So filler words, remove filler words, and then delete or ignore. All the filler words are already gone from this. That's the reason why it's not showing up. Let me see if I could find something else, just to kind of show you guys what it looks like in Descript, because Descript is really good. Okay, here. So we got this one, remove filler words. Yeah, so you see here, so it's found 474 filler words. Oops, remove filler words, right? Find filler words. And it find a whole bunch of them, and it just basically is just going to just go through and just cut them out. So the cool thing is, I can now feed it a list of these filler words. So see here, these are the filler words that I care about. So here, like, right, so, well, the big ones, right? All that type of stuff. I could just give it a list of filler words and just tell it, can you use this filler words list? And if you find any single thing like that, just remove it from the video, just cut it out. That would work. We know it could work now because it's already doing that for silence. So that's actually pretty good. Voice loss, I hear you. Sir, do you have a GitHub page where I could read through this? I don't, but if you could join my school community, I'm going to put some more details specifically on this here. Inside of this here, drop it school community. This is where I put all my content. So join the school community, and then I'm going to try to get some more details about what I'm doing inside of here. All right, I'm still working on trying to get all the content and stuff like that, but yeah. So yeah, anyway, so the point is, this will, let's see if it's gonna do the design, which I'm pretty confident they could mimic the design. So here's what I'm getting at. I think I'm getting a good understanding of the capabilities here now that I kind of have it going. So what you want to do is you want to go into something like Canva or Remix or any one of these tools. This is what I would do now that I kind of understand what to do. So you would do something like create video. Let's do create, and then you would do social media video. And then you would do, let's just say Instagram stories, maybe. Sure, yeah, let's go with that. Okay, so you do something like this, and then maybe even, I don't have it's a pro, but okay, let's just go with something cheap, right? So you could do, let's pretend you were doing something like this level. You would just do it like that. You would get the screenshot of what this looks like, and then you would basically get it to export the screenshot as a JPEG as an example. Use that, and then use that screenshot to inspire the design in Claude or in Remotion, right? So you'd use that. These are all just outlines of JPEG type stuff. So with that screenshot from a Canva inspired document or some screenshot that you took of some competitor's video online, you could mimic the design style. So let's see. This looks great. The design matches your screenshot. Purple standard banner, vibe coding. The free ride is over. Bond next text, 3 degrees, highlights, caption. Man, this is actually really cool because you know what you can do now? Like now the ideas are starting to flow. Now that I understand what's possible, is I can, the title states, okay, so can you render a new video with that new layout and give it a new name so that we know it's a new version? So you can imagine now you could have a screen where you could basically put you could have like 3 or 4 different design styles so that all your video doesn't look exactly the same. School is currently offline. Really? SKOOL. What are you saying? School is on, man. School is currently offline. Okay, here's the link again. Oh, you know what? Maybe what is that my link that's broken? No, that one's fine. School.com, vibe code that I'm not certain, but anyway, keep the link, join it whenever you can, and then I'll put some content inside of there. So, let's see. So with that, man, this is actually pretty good. We could get this up tonight. So, okay, let's recap sort of like at a very high level because people came in at all different levels, and let me just see. Where is my whiteboard? Where's my whiteboard? Come on. Got too many, way too many things open. Here. So just to recap on where we're at with this entire thing, right? What we've done is, so just, okay, let me just highlight the whole flow so that in case people are new and didn't know what I was talking about. So, okay, so the concept is this. You got a whole bunch of ideas, which we didn't really focus on in this conversation. You record a video of some sort, okay? In my particular case, I'm recording to my iPhone, so I airdrop it to my computer. The minute I get airdropped to my computer, we have some sort of service that basically picks up that newly added video. And then it does one thing, it uploads it up to Cloudflare. And then it uses Remotion or Translate. So that could actually run locally on your computer, to be honest with you. Now that I know that the Whisper translation service is actually a local thing, you could just run that locally. You don't have to actually deploy it to the cloud. In fact, you just have it running on a local computer. So you translate the video. You cut out all the dead spaces, which Remotion can do pretty easy. Translate. Then you basically trim any extra spaces, etc. Okay, my computer is just cranking up. And then you apply the style. The style that we apply is basically from a Canva that we took a screenshot of, and we basically just give it to Remotion. And then what we could do is we could label that style so that it has references to a bunch of styles. Right? I mean, later on we could build out an old interface for that, but really and truly, as long as we have some sort of way to go back to choose the different styles, and that would be great. And then render it. So now that we have our output of our new video, then all that's left to be able to do is just post it to the different social media channel. But the truth is, even if you just got this, like you didn't even bother about setting it up so it could automatically post a video. Like even if you just got this out of the model where you could then just go and just copy and upload it, I think it would be fine. In addition to giving you a title and a description, because that's the hardest thing, right? Being able to come up with a title and a description for each one of these videos, or a few titles, and then have that uploaded to some sort of front end page where you could kind of, copy the video or upload it or whatever, copy the title and then just mark it as being done. I think that would be a win in itself, right? That would be a win. Or better yet, push it back to your phone or something so that you could just do it from your phone and copy those pieces. Like, however that works, I think this could work. So let's see, we're almost there. Let's see, 82%. Let's see if it actually did exactly what we're thinking. Because if this works, this is fantastic in terms of like being able to do almost anything. That's amazing. Amazing. We can hear you, but no other video. Got that. So yeah, anyway, listen, I feel good today considering the fact that I had so many technical problems. I feel like at least hopefully it was worth the technical problem challenges at the start. But 99%, all frames were rendered, now encoded. Okay, a little bit more work to do. All frames were rendered, now encoded. So let me see. So my computer is like legit running hot. And then I'm on what am I on here? I'm on a M3 Pro Max. And it's hot. So activity, monitor. Okay, 79, 80%. So I'm at 80% like capacity. What about memory? I'm at 27 gigabytes of memory used right now out of 32. I got 32 gigs of memory in this field. I'm at 27. So I'm like almost maxed out here. 85, 89. Yeah, so I'm almost maxed out on the hardware as well too. I appreciate your feedback. I'm flying to FI to enjoy concerts, so I won't be coding. Hey, Florida, I think it is. You party for both of us, okay? You party for both of us because I am jealous. I really am. My friend came down this weekend here, last weekend for her birthday party, and I went out one night and I was like, man, I miss this. I got a toddler now, so my life is consumed by my kid. But yeah, I genuinely miss the interaction of just hanging out and hanging out with adults. So you go party for both of us. You just do that. I've been working nonstop since being laid off. Or you laid off. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So now you got a fire under you to get some stuff done. But hey, you go hard and go party hard. That's what. Listen. So on that note, you want to talk about layoff? So I've always been an entrepreneur. I've had tons of entrepreneur companies, etc. However, I was working for a consulting company 2 years ago doing consulting. I took this product. I was really hurt by this. Okay, I want to talk about laid off. I was really hurt by this because I took this company. They had an idea for a product. I literally did. I've never done hardware before. I'm not a hardware person. I We came up with the idea to build this. It's really complex. It doesn't really matter what it is. It's basically a 3D scanning system to scan and measure boxes with very precise measurement using camera. Anyway, came up with the idea, designed the initial product, figured out the sourcing from China, got the product built, did the whole thing, wrote the software to basically design the screen, the touch screen interface, designed the website, started selling, called it, got the first set of customers. I'm talking from hardware right to first customer, basically the entire thing end to end. Spent 2.5 years on that, figure out all the marketing, etc. Now, to be fair, there was a lot of people that was working with me, etc. And there's a lot of people, so I just want to be clear with that. I'm not saying that I take credit for every single thing, but I was very, very hurt by the fact that I got um, I'm going to say dismissed off of that project. And the reason why I got dismissed, well, because we just weren't jiving properly. I had some different ideas on how the project should go. They had some different ideas, and yeah, I like the guys. Just be clear. I'm saying this stuff publicly because I got a good relationship, or at least a decent relationship with them, and I do value them as business people. But at the time, I was very very taken back and hurt by the fact that they just basically dismissed me off of the project and so things. So anyway, my point is, I sympathize with the fact that you've been laid off. Like it's a hard thing to go through. But here's the good thing about it: it makes you a stronger person, makes you a better person, and then if you really dig deep and understanding what went wrong, you will find areas of your life that you could improve. One to do better, but two to find your own path so that that mistake doesn't happen again. And this is coming from somebody that's gotten fired multiple times in life. So I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty resilient when it comes to that stuff. But it still hits you here. You know what I mean? It still hits you here. So you go party, you go party because you deserve it, and you party for both of us because I deserve it and I can't party. So you're gonna do it for both of us. So yeah, yeah. All right, let's see if this thing actually works. Okay, edit version 2. You ready for this? Let's see. Let's see. Reveal in Finder. Fingers crossed. Number 2. After 18 years at the company, it pushed me to newer technologies. They still do ASP. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, so yeah, you listen. In hindsight, they kicked you out, sure, but you will win because they will become a dinosaur and you will thrive, and that is a fact. Okay, so the fact that you're even hanging out in this community and doing new stuff, 100%, 100%. All right, so let's see. So this is the old one. I don't want to confuse the old one with the new one. Uh, Moment of truth. Let's see if it actually did it. Hang on. Okay, I'm going to put it brighter. Okay, let's see. Okay. All right. Did it take 20 seconds? Let me see. Hey, 20 seconds. Bam. So the only thing that I don't like is the font. That's it. This thing did every single thing that I asked it to do. That's amazing. I am not editing a single video again. Okay. Oh, do I hate video editing? This is like amazing. So I'm happy with this. I really am. Yeah, I'm happy with this. If you guys want this code, let me know. Join the community. Let me know. I'm gonna see if I can put it up on my GitHub or what the deal is. I have to clean it up a little bit, but like this is like, yeah, this will help the vibe coders to be able to generate content at scale. At scale, because now you just need an engine that's going to help. I will accept you for sure. Now you just need a content that's sorry, an engine that's going to help you with the idea generation, and then you just sit, you just watch, read your ideas, and you just turn to the camera, record 5, 6, 7 of them, upload them, and then have the AI basically just do the entire thing, transcript, and then start getting them scheduled out. Fantastic. So yeah, hey guys, listen, it's been a pleasure. It's 4:30. I shifted my thing. I started at 1:30 instead of 1 p.m. today. But it's been a pleasure hanging out with you guys. I appreciate every single one of you every single week that kind of come out and hang out with me, and just engage. So I appreciate you very, very much. Thank you so much for joining. And for all the people that joined the school community, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to approve you. And there's a bunch of stuff coming in the school community. To be honest, I just got to be real with this because I want to just say it. Everything. The school community is a work in progress because of the fact that I've just been so busy. But there's tons of stuff that I got coming to kind of help with more structured content. Right now we do these lives every single week, and they're kind of like a free for all. 90% of the time, I believe it or not, 90% of the time, I have no idea what I'm going to be talking on these live about. No idea. I just jump on and I just MVP it every single week. At some point, I need to plan a little bit more, but for now, we're just free for all in it. But yeah, I think we accomplished something this week, which I was really happy about because at least we actually got something done. I've been really trying to balance talking with code, which is a really hard thing to do. Now the AI could do a little bit more work on its own, so that's becoming easier as well too. But yeah, thank you again for you guys. You guys have yourself a wonderful weekend. If you are in the community, then say hi, share the project that you're working on, share the challenges that you have, share questions. There's 150 people inside of there, but honestly, it's kind of silent, and I'm trying to change that now. I'm spending some more time with it. So with that, you guys enjoy yourself. Have yourself a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you in the next live next week, Friday, 1 p.m., 4 p.m. Eastern time. Take care, guys. We are done. Done. Finish.